service execution, training, and customer service. We're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction.
Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports, 11's Talk, and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. On a Wednesday, Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We got 3 more of these bleepers left, and we're taking this thing to the absolute top. You know this. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for you. Now, I got to double check this, but I'm pretty sure we have more announcements at the end of this show. I got to triple check with you, but we have more announcements at the end of this show. We're allowing people to use context clues here, okay? But when we do crosstalk, as of yesterday, the last time I spoke to the powers that be, we are revealing something else today. Okay, we are revealing something else today, so that's going to be at the end of the show. But we're just getting this bad boy started. And what better way to get started? There's not, Kyle, too many bangers to count. We had an Amick banger. We had a Slater banger. We had a Fisher banger. And it gets to the point where I sit up there last night doing the rundown, and there's no better feeling, Kyle. We only got a couple more of these rundowns left, at least in this capacity and in this way. And there's nothing better. I don't care how long it takes me than finishing my rundown, waking up in the morning, and having to obliterate the whole schedule we had because all this news dropped. Anthony Slater with an article. Now he did an interview. Who hasn't done an interview with Scott Perry? Now he did an interview with Scott Perry. We have that for you. Jake Fisher, he's always talking about something. Jake Fisher is talking about Kuminga. And last but not least, you got Sam Amick. He always got some information for you. So this is what we're talking about on a Wednesday when I was ready to spend at least an hour and a half on what in God's name was the end of that Mavericks-Kings game. I've never seen a worse executed offense than what I was forced to watch, like Sandra Bullock in Bird Box, than the end of that game. And the whole last play gate when they didn't pay attention or they decided to do something else. And by the way, in that Slater banger, they talk about Doug Christie safe going into next season. This is what we also discussed. And the words that Scott Perry uses, he's the guy to help us turn the corner. He's the guy to help us turn the corner. Now, I don't know who's going to be driving once you turn the corner, but he's the guy to help us turn this thing around. Does that mean he's going to be here after it starts to get turned around? I don't know. I do not know. Also, I'm telling you this much. Wednesday, a Wasabi Wednesday, Frankie Cardicelli told me, Allen, you got 3 days left. You better empty whatever you got to empty. We bring the boom. And that's exactly what the hell. Sorry, Mom. That's exactly what the hell. HE double hockey sticks. Christopher Lott getting on me because I had to listen to 50 Cent edited. Chris, I was 13 years old. That's the problem with the kids these days. You need to listen to edited music. Okay? And now I got 2 little girls, right? So now I'm still listening to edited music. I've turned the whole 180. I had my fun from about 16 to 30 listening to unedited music. Now I can't even listen to the bad boy because it just feels weird. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't listen to this. So this is what's wrong with the youth. Listen to edited music, okay? Until it's time. That's what I'm talking about. No parental advisory. But we will be unedited for the next 3 days. I'm going to tell you that much right now. And not only do we have all these bangers that came out, we are giving away tickets to see Cedric the Entertainer. We were just talking about that movie, and I looked up the Johnson Family Vacation. We were just talking about that movie last week, Ramsey and I, when we were doing the show before the break. Now, Cedric the Entertainer, Friday, January 16th, Thunder Valley. He's kicking off his Love and Laughter tour at the venue Friday, January 16th. So that's coming up at 1 o'clock, okay? You talk about unedited. Parental advisory. This is what we're talking about, okay? Because I have never in my life seen a team fall apart, and I don't know. I'm going back and forth with people. We don't even know what last play everybody was talking about, last play gate. I was talking about the play when the Kings were down 2. Now, they blew the lead. I guess we can just gloss over that. But the Kings were down 2. And I was talking to the round table. Chris Watkins tells me, well, Levine kind of threw a slip screen. It doesn't mean you actually have to set the screen. But AD didn't move. And I don't know why there's this idea that AD can't guard the perimeter. And maybe that's true if you're talking about one of these elite guards. AD doesn't have a problem guarding 36-year-old DeMar DeRozan. So when Zach LaVine throws that slip screen, AD looks like the Boogie Cousins meme with your boy, Karl Anthony Towns. AD's just standing there. So DeMar DeRozan, I think, tries to drive. I don't think he had any intention of putting it up because AD's not going anywhere. Then you kick it out to a Schroeder 3 and a Westbrook 3. And I can't remember the game where Schroeder hit that 3. It must have been the Rockets. They don't got a lot of wins. So it must have been that Rockets game where Schroeder hit a 3 to tie it, or Westbrook hit a 3 to tie it, and Schroeder hit a 3 to win it. Teams are going to let you live with that. Teams are going to let you live with that. That's not disrespectful. You're open for a reason. And you play right into their hands. So I don't know what the hell that play was. I did a breakdown of it. You can check that out on X, on Twitter. I don't know what the hell that was. Then Doug got asked about the last play where DeMar DeRozan took a LaMelo one-footed three-pointer to attempt to tie it after that garbage of a first play. So then DeMar takes that shot, and Doug gets asked about that, and Doug says, that's not even the play that I told them to run. So what he says is, and we'll play it a little later in this hour, what he says is they decided to run wide. And running wide, that is basically their normal set play, where it's a drive and kick situation. You remember when you play high school basketball, hey, set it up. That's just their normal go-to. So somebody, it could have been Westbrook, it could have been DeMar, whoever, somebody didn't like what they saw and they said, bleep this, we're just going to run what we normally run, and it ended up with a DeMar DeRozan. Nobody knew who was going to get the ball. Nobody knew anything, okay? So Kyle might feel a little vindicated as Doug's been on the hot seat all day for us, and we love Doug. But I got to be objective with all this. Doug's been on the hot seat. Then we get this information. It's just funny to me how timely things are. Coincidences are crazy to me. So this happens, and then Slater drops this article, which is a larger conversation about the Kings. But Anthony Slater, and a lot of people know this, I've said it multiple times, Anthony Slater and I, we went to school together back in the day. We started at Sonoma State. Both of us went our separate ways. He goes to Oklahoma State, does a great job for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he is where he is today. I went a different direction, wanted to continue to play baseball, and we found ourselves back in NorCal. So I got a lot of love for Anthony Slater and the work that I've watched him put in. And you know what Anthony is thinking. You know what we were all thinking. This is a nationally televised game. Thank the good heavens it was on NBC, because I forgot until Kyle told me, and it's on Peacock, and the bad boy is freezing. I can't even watch the dang game. So I remember, oh wait, Kyle told me it was on Channel 3. I don't have to deal with Peacock. So I turn it on, nationally televised. They're showing the promo video that they have where all the players' eyes are purple and it's great and it's awesome. And I'm getting hyped up. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is awesome.
And then you saw the starting lineup.
And then you see but then they take the lead. They got the control. What did they have? The lead for 40 plus minutes. And then all of a sudden, just like we've seen teams do, they lean forward, just like when you're playing your older cousin or whoever it is at PS4, PS5, I'm back with PlayStation 2 and GameCube, and they lean forward and they start trying, and you realize, oh, we are just not prepared for this. We are not prepared for this. And that's what I saw in the last two possessions. I don't know what in God's name they were trying to run that first go-round, a slip screen. And again, going back to the AD thing, this brother can defend. Don't let the street clothes nickname fool you. AD is a dog. And the reason I can say that is because I also fell for it. I used to think AD's a big. Get him off his switch. It's goody. It's cookies. It's barbecue chicken. It's really not, though. If you have a dog, and this is no disrespect to DeMar DeRozan, but if you're talking about a Shea or one of the elite scorers right now, then yeah, you probably don't want that on AD. But DeMar on AD with a fake screen, and I don't know, Clay wasn't in the game, so whoever they were maybe trying to get to switch, I know Chris said that they had ran a previous play, and Chris sent me the video, Chris Watkins did, but on the previous video, the screen was actually set. It was a little bit different. So I don't know what the hell that was. And then the last play, it just honestly, I can't name it because no free promotion, and I'm actually trying to get an endorsement by this place. But I go to this place I went to the gym on New Year's, okay? I went to the gym on New Year's, and I haven't been a part of a gym in a very long time. Before we moved into the house that we're in now, we were in an apartment complex when we first came out to Sacramento, and they had a little gym, so I'm trying to save that cash. You know what I mean? So I haven't been a part of a gym in a couple years now. So I decide I'm just going to do the basic thing, and on New Year's, I'm going to go to the gym. And this place was huge. It's in the Thomas. You can probably guess where I was at. But this place was huge. Okay, got rock climbing, basketball court, and my Achilles was tingling. Just like the Green Goblin. My Achilles start tingling, Kyle. I'm thinking, I got to put some shots up. It's a new year. I'm 3 years removed. I'm about to cook. Kyle, the way my hammy works, it felt a little tight early, okay? But the basketball, and I'm not being disrespectful, the basketball I watched, okay, because I didn't play there was no 5-on-5 going on. But the basketball that was going on, the little 3-on-3 game, I'm just over there, getting my shots up, my little double cross off the heezy, slip and slide, all that. The basketball that I watched, that was the last 40 seconds of the Kings game, Kyle. New Year's basketball with some high schoolers. That's how bad it was. And I just don't understand how that happens when your team is 47. The average age is 47 years old.
Well,
literally.
You can figure out the age of the lineup on the floor because you had Schroeder, Levine, DeRozan, looks like Keon, and Dylan Cardwell as your closing lineup.
That's got to be what? That's 33 years old. That's 33 years old, man.
And Cardwell's bringing down the average.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't helping. So I just don't understand, even in that final moment. And I know they'll all know more basketball. They'll forget more basketball than I'll ever know. I get all that. But how does no one just say, oh, maybe I should set a screen for an actual screen in either of those possessions, an actual screen for DeMar DeRozan. If DeMar DeRozan is going to be the decoy, then I'm setting a screen for Zach LaVine. How does that not happen? How does that not happen? I just don't understand it, man.
By the way, Max Christie was the guy they were trying to get the switch on.
There you go. And what's crazy to me is, as a fan base, we've had to sit through this garbage of a season, be force-fed these vets, like me trying to give my toddler greens and spinach, be force-fed these vets, watch them play 40 minutes a night. The least you could do in that moment is make sure one of the damn vets gets a shot that's not Dennis Schroeder or Russell Westbrook. And DeMar DeRozan gets a one-footed three. Maybe it's on them. Maybe Doug said, y'all are 47 years old. Go figure it out. I don't know.
Well, we know he didn't. They had a play, and they didn't run it.
Well, they didn't for the last play, and they ignored it. And Doug said, hey, they're on the floor. I'm gonna default to them or defer to them. That previous play, I truly don't know. I truly don't know. I watched it. It sounds like a little slip screen action they were trying to run. And then but again, then it wasn't a good play, right? Like, these are the Mavericks. We're not talking about OKC. Like, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. But Doug is safe. This is per Anthony Slater, who spoke with Scott Perry. And we'll get more into what Anthony Slater had to write and everything that he broke down. But that was what I was prepared to talk about, which I just talked about. But now all of a sudden we have all these rumors. Zach LaVine tried to get the hell out of here. I don't blame him. And look, can I just, like I said, I'm emptying it all out, man. So Zach LaVine, nationally televised game. Oh my goodness. Do I gotta say it? He looked very engaged. Do I have to say it? He did. Nationally televised game. And then the day after the nationally televised game, we get the report from Jake Fisher. All these guys. I'm catching on here, Kyle. I've never been a newsbreaker writer before, but I think that there is a connection between dropping a bunch of information. And Jake Fisher, I know he does a weekly with Bleacher Report, so maybe that came out sooner. I got to double check. But that was on his Substack on the Stein line, which I do think came out this morning. A team has a very important game, nationally televised game. A bunch of news is going to drop on that team the day after. That's my takeaway from this.
I mean, if you were talking to the rest of the NBA, I don't think it was a nationally televised game. They kind of just slipped that one under the rug.
For a team that has 8 wins.
No, this was the crazy
We got Derek Fisher.
Well, yeah, that too. By the way, Zach LaVine, your 20.5 did not cash. 20 points for Zach. So you're
he did that. He's done that twice now.
Yeah, your prop talk was
How does that not cash? Yeah. You know why I didn't cash, Kyle? You know why I didn't cash? Because we have to watch Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook take threes to try to take the lead. Here's the other crazy
Russell
part.
Westbrook 1 for 7 from 3.
Here's the other crazy part about that specific possession, not the last one. It was 2 points. It was 2 points.
You didn't need a 3?
How are you? This is how upside down as I'm still trying to finish Stranger Things. We've got through 1 episode, by the way. How in the upside down do you have the most taken mid-ranges in the NBA? You're down 2, and none of your mid-range merchants
refuse to take a mid-range.
Like, how does that, like, how? Honestly, it feels like the Kings are trolling us. We're going to make you watch the vets all season long. We're going to give DeMar DeRozan 50 minutes every night. And then when it's time for DeMar DeRozan to do the DeMar DeRozan thing, we're going to have Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook take threes.
It's almost like the comedy of errors thing, which, hey, man, if that's the way it's going to go, at least it's going to be like, wow, what am I watching right now? This is hard to understand.
Yeah, and they did it in front of everybody because that's just how it goes down.
Well, I mean, as Worldwide Wob said, if you're on the East Coast and staying up to watch Mavs Kings at 11 p.m., you are a sicko.
I think there were a decent amount of, look, it's one of those things where you're not watching, and East Coast, whatever. But on the West Coast, you're not watching, but you are at the very least following along. Even if you're not following along because you don't give a bleep about two teams that stink, what is Anthony Davis doing? Some of these names. This was a huge showcase game. This was literally an AAU game. Literally. This was, and Whitey, we're going to joke about it all the time. When I went to Perfect Game back in 2008, 2007, and they said that I got ball hawk skills similar to Kenny Lofton. That was my big showcase debut. That's what this was last night. It was a showcase for everyone involved besides Malik Monk. That's what this was. And in that showcase, you did not see Malik Monk, and you didn't even get to see DeMar DeRozan had a decent game. But in that moment, DeMar, you have to find a way to get a mid-range shot off, which sounds crazy to say. But yeah, this was at 7:40 this morning, okay? Jake Fisher, and yes, to confirm, these guys, Anthony Slater, and obviously they have these in, and Anthony Slater, I got to double check when he did that interview, but they know when they're going to drop this stuff. So as much as we can poo-poo the nationally televised game, it still was, right? And relatively speaking, this was a big deal for the Kings. So all this stuff comes out the day after a huge nationally televised game for the Mavericks and the Kings, a huge showcase game. And it's really about the latest on Trae Young. It's called the Trae Young trade latest. But in that, Jake Fisher says, league sources say that Levine's, we're back at it again. You didn't think we could get away from them, did we? Huh? And by the way, this is not coffee, Allen. This is not yerba mate, Allen. We're trying to be healthy. I'm trying to fit into that tux. Okay, that's what the bachelor party is. I'm getting ready for the wedding at the end of the month. Okay, my wife made us smoothies. He lost a lot of pounds. He was fat. My wife made us smoothies. This is protein-packed Allen. This is what it is.
He lost a lot of pounds. He was fat.
And I'm trying here. And I don't give a bleep what any Westbrook fan has to say because it was ridiculous. That's right. League sources say that Levine's Clutch Sports representatives tried during the offseason to build some support for a trade construction that would send their client to Atlanta for Young, but the Kings squashed the idea. So remember this summer when it came out the Kings aren't interested in Trae Young? My theory is that that's when all this was going on. You got Rich Paul, who does the show with Max Kellerman. Now, Max Kellerman, by the way, is having a resurgence. Good for him. I always like Max. But you got Rich Paul or whoever, Clutch Sports kind of branch off, right? If it's not Rich Paul, it could be one of the other agents that they have. They're growing. Good for them. And they say, one thing will be consistent. We will be consistently trying to get our clients out of Sacramento. That's the one thing we know about Clutch. If we have a client in Sacramento, we are always actively trying to get them out of Sacramento. And that's their prerogative. So that comes out. Now all of a sudden, Zach LaVine pops back up for a Bucks game. Obviously, you've been connected to the Bucks. And good on Jake Gaden for asking that question. And then all of a sudden, it's a nationally televised game. Zach LaVine, I mean, we had no questions until the end of the game, which was a disaster. But Zach LaVine, 20 points, putting it up. Shot looks pure, dunking, getting to the rack. Oh, my gosh,
Didn't cash Allen's prop talk?
Didn't cash my prop talk, but bleep it. If you want to go, then go, brother.
Well,
if you want to go, then go.
I mean, my biggest takeaway from that whole...
And I don't blame him, by the way.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. My biggest takeaway from the whole thing, though, was he's not represented by him anymore, but Trae Young, former clutch guy.
Yeah,
Zach LaVine, clutch guy.
No. Sorry, Trae, you ain't popping no more. You got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Well, I think Trae fired them, but they were like, guess what? We'll try and get you to Sacramento, Trae. That would be pretty funny if they did that. But again, it's just that's how this thing works. They'll work behind the scenes to try and make things happen, and the general managers or the organizations that don't have backbones to do what they feel is best, for better or for worse, are the ones who are going to let the power cede to the agents. That happens all the time in the NBA.
So I'm getting a text here from Whitey. And Whitey says, DeMar blew up the last play by coming to the ball at the same time Zach did. But again, that's on so this last play gate is just very funny to me, because now there's the fact that they did not. So on top of not running the play, so let me get this straight. If I'm understanding this correctly, they did not run the play that Doug had called. They opted to run something else. Then when they opted to run, if I have this correct, because maybe they're talking about two different plays here. Then once they opted to run that new play, they did not even run that correctly. And they're 37 years old. They are 40 years old, this team. How does that happen? Just Scott Perry, just make the call. Just everybody needs you to make the call. Just make the call. 916-339-1140. On the other side, like I said, there's tons to talk about. We have Box Score watching, and we have that report from Anthony Slater that Doug Christie is safe. How you feel about that, Sacramento? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the drive, baby. Allen Stiles says farewell to the middays. Afternoons, here he comes. Beginning January 12th.
It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and now Allen Stiles. Kings, Niners, NFL. Allen's college baseball stats and Major League Baseball talk. Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on your number one sports station in Sacramento. Sactown Sports 1140.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
At InShape, there's a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, walker, runner, sauna seeker, recoverer. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 15th through 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. We've got more tackle. Grab deep discounts on a huge selection of fishing gear, apparel, and accessories at the giant Fisherman's Warehouse booth. NorCal's largest gathering for anglers, hunters, and off-roading enthusiasts. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 15th through 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 916-619-3000 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Sacramento's Outwork playlist is Mix 96.
I'm in love with the shape of you.
Now with 4 opportunities each weekday to be our $1,000 Employee of the Day. Today's hits and yesterday's favorites, Mix 96.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Whitey is saying DeMar did not run the play. He was supposed to be a decoy, but went to the ball. Yeah, DeMar didn't say that on his presser. Because, yeah, I listened to it. We have it, too. But DeMar didn't say that on the presser. And, look, I mean, I'm just mad because it was, in a season like this, you're just looking for tiny victories. You know, no pun intended. You're looking for tiny victories, and, you know, that would have been another feel-good. There haven't been many. You only got 8 wins. But that would have been another feel-good, and that's really one of the only teams you can beat. It's the Mavericks. But the last time you beat the Mavericks, AD didn't play. And that's a big deal. Cooper Flagg went off, but AD didn't play. Now, tell them what they have next, Johnny. They got the Warriors in the Bay. That's on Friday. The Rockets on Sunday. All right, and that's in the midst of NFL playoffs, and even against the Warriors, you'll have college football playoff going on. Crazy, the portal. I had to text Kyle, man. This portal stuff is insane. Damon Williams of Washington about to get sued.
Sued into staying.
Yeah, sued into staying. $4 million Washington was going to give him, but LSU was going to give him $6 million, but he signed already. This is crazy. Like I said, back in my day, I was mad that they were getting all the lunch cards. I was mad that they could eat all day. Right? And now the $4 million, $6 million, and get your money. But yeah, this thing is a mess. So that's the college football playoff is going to be going on. The Kings got the Warriors on Friday, the Rockets on Sunday. The Rockets are at home. Then they get the Lakers at home. Then they get the Knicks at home. Perfect timing for Mike Brown's homecoming, don't you think? So that's on the 14th. And then they get a little mini break against the Wizards on January 16th.
Maybe.
Yeah, at this point, you got
Wizards got a better record.
Well, I'm gonna say Bub Carrington, Kyle's boy, about to go for 20.
Whoa, he is so bad.
About to go for 20.
Wizards are 10-25. Kings are 8-29.
Crazy. So
we might need to lose that for the tank.
Yeah. Well, might. That's how they, that's how they basically are acting anyway. All right. So here's this information from Anthony Slater. And Anthony Slater, and you got to check out the article. It's a great article. And Anthony Slater says, Christie is on the first season of a 3-year contract, league sources said, but the final season is a team option. This is a trial period. For a first-time head coach, but Perry has been firm in his backing of Christie. Despite the poor record, his job is safe, team sources said. Quote, he's got an organization that's behind him and believes that he will be there to help push us through and turn the corner. Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper on that last part. This is from Perry. Believes that he will be there to help push us through and turn the corner. Push us through and turn the corner.
That's from team sources. That's not from Perry.
No. It says Perry said. On the
despite the poor record, his job is safe, team sources said, quote, he's got a
No, after that.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, after that. He's got an organization that's behind him and believes that he will be there to help push us through and turn the corner. Perry said that himself. Now, when I look at that, and I look at Doug's contract, he's got that 3rd-year option. So he's going to go into year 2. We all knew he was going to go into year 2 because even if Scott Perry wanted somebody else, until this roster, you're not going to put your guy into a bad situation. That's just the reality, right? That's just the reality of the situation. So we knew that he was going to get next year. After next year, again, probably going to be a bad record. I don't know about this bad, hopefully not, but probably going to be a bad record. After that year, it doesn't really change what we talked about last week, because what we talked about last week, I think it was earlier this week actually, what we talked about was the idea that you need somebody to kind of, and you're giving them an opportunity. Don't get me wrong. There's not a lot of NBA coaching jobs. Anybody would sign up for this. But you're also keeping them in place while you get your bleep together. And once you get your bleep together, you can say, hey, Doug overachieved and we're going to keep him. More than likely, he will not have enough success because that team is not going to be good. And then when you make your moves and you get Cam Boozer or AJ DeBanza, by the way, I'm super out on Darren Peterson. Somebody said, isn't he just Bradley Beal? And now I'm shook. But you go get your top pick. You got Keegan back. You move on for Sabonis, whatever it is, and you bring in those assets. I don't know. And what's crazy is Doug would probably be better fit for a young team. But that's what, in year 3 of this? I just don't know. Once you're in that third year, and as we talk about, people don't do the lame duck stuff. So you'd have to pick up that third year and then give Doug an extension. That's just what typically happens. I guess there's a world where you just let Doug finish out the year. But I can't see them giving Doug 2 more years in that third year and giving him 5 years or whatever. I know we're not putting a timeline on it, but Sam Amick and, there were a lot of conversations about the 3 to 5 years. But just allowing Doug to just take you through that. And before anybody, we've already talked about the Mark Daigneault thing. They had Shea. They knew where they were going. They had just made the big trade. It's different. That's why I've always said they just hired Doug too soon. But at the very least, we know, at least as of right now, Doug's going to be here through the year. That's all what we do know now. And we kind of already assumed that.
Yeah, and what you touched on was kind of my point when we talked about the Doug hot seat thing on Monday, which is if this is going to work, you're going to need that 3 to 5 year runway for sustainable success. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see a path right now for Doug to get that contract extension that would warrant a commitment to him that says you have an organization behind you and believe that he will be there to help push him through. Now, maybe that contract extension is coming this summer, but if they go into next year with again, that team option's probably never going to get picked up because it's like $6.5 million. Yeah. They probably, even if they wanted to keep him, would renegotiate his deal.
Right.
But even still, if you go into next year in a contract year with little expectation that you're going to be good without a major roster change and no contract extension, that says you're not committed to Doug Christie. And at that point, I would just say, let's just fast track this thing. If we know it's headed towards, it's a lame duck year and he's not going to get extended after 27, or he's just going to be on this year-to-year trial thing, let's just fast track it and give a coach a 4-year commitment.
Yeah.
If you think that's Doug, you think that's Doug. I just think but the nature of how he got hired makes me think they're probably better doing a full coaching search where 12 to 15 candidates come in.
You know what? And it's funny. I was talking to somebody at this station who will remain nameless. I was talking to somebody about this. I talked to a lot of people about this. Life is about leverage when it comes to your career. Life is about leverage. Some people have more leverage than others, right? And I'm not just talking about this industry, any industry. If you are the best salesperson, you have a ton of leverage. Hey, I need a raise. My kid needs more diapers. My kid needs a new scooter, right? I need a raise, and I'm making the most money at this company. You're probably going to get that raise. You have leverage. Somebody that's young, a lot of people would love to have that first job out of college. You can't walk in. My first job out of college, they fired all of us, okay? We were all in our early 20s, and we were, this was right before apps came out, 2013, 2014. We were working in these kind of web platforms, putting stuff on websites, and we all looked around. It was a great time, and we said, hey, I think we're all underpaid. And instead of giving any of us promotions, they outsourced it to Virginia. And one day we walked into the office, not me because I was not in the country actually, and I found out that way. I was at my grandmother's funeral out there in Panama, RIP, and we found out that we were all canned, okay? And that was the first slap in the face to reality for me that, wow, I have no leverage. And my goal in life, when we talk about people like Snoop Dogg, and at least, people love paying Snoop Dogg, that's a version of leverage because we know you bring in money and we know people like you, right? Doug Christie has no leverage. He doesn't. So he's going to have an awful record this season. Next season's probably still going to be bad. And you know what, Kyle? He is kind of at the Kings' disposal, and he could easily be the rare lame duck coach because what's he going to do? There's nothing he can do. I think if you're Scott Perry, you're looking at that third option or the third year, and you're saying it really depends where we're at in this rebuild. If AJ DeBanza is that dude and Keegan comes back and the flashes that we saw really turned it on, maybe you keep Domantas Sabonis, maybe you don't, and you look like you're about to turn this thing around, very similar to what we said. Hey, the Jazz only want to stink for one more year, right? The Wizards now are interested in Trae Young. If you look like you're at the precipice of that, then you're not picking up. I don't believe they're going to pick up Doug Christie's third year option. If they're not there, and let's say they get unlucky and they get the 7th pick this upcoming season, we'll still have a draft party, don't you worry about it. Let's say they have the 7th pick and they're still trying to move some of these assets, and the third year's coming around, maybe Scott Perry says, hey, Vivek, I know it's a little expensive. We can try to rework it, or we just pick it up because I still don't necessarily you're giving Doug an opportunity. Don't get me wrong. He's coaching the games. He's got full autonomy, but I don't want to bring in a new guy until we're closer to where we want to be. So because Doug really has no leverage, when you look at some of these other coaches and say, bleep that. I don't want to deal with that. Other teams could want me. As of right now, I don't know that that's the case with Doug.
I agree with that sentiment. And the other part is, I guess they should just make a decision in 2026 is kind of my point. If we know where this is going and we know it's going to take at least 2 years of drafts to accumulate the young talent necessary to compete, I just don't think I don't think you should bring in the coach once the young talent is there. You should allow the coach to grow with the young talent. Therefore,
it's tough, though. It's tough to marry that. It's tough to time that out.
But they have the chance. That's my point. They have the chance right now to do it in 2026. They can do it as they're beginning to accumulate the young talent.
But I think with Dagnall, again, the Paul George move was just made. I don't think they want the new coach to have DeRozan. I don't know about Sabonis. We've talked about that. To have DeRozan, to have Sabonis, to have Levine. I just don't think you're right, but I don't think they want that coach to touch this roster at all.
But if it's that important, just buy out Levine, buy out DeRozan, say we're going to run the young guys this next season. If it's that important, there are ways to get out from under that situation. I just think it's better to give whoever the coach is a 3 to 4 year runway, just like these players, like Utah did with Will Hardy. I was listening to Kevin Love talk about that organization, and he's like, we're giving you room to make mistakes. We're giving you room to grow. Coaches, front office people, young players, give everyone that 3 to 4 year runway to grow, whether that's Doug or whether that's somebody else.
Can I say something? Because you've talked about this before, and I don't want to speak for you. I know you've mentioned before that they're going to go with another that you feel like they'd go with another young coach, possibly a first-time coach. Can I tell you this much, just based on how Scott Perry gets down? I don't know, and I have heard some things. I don't know if that's the case.
I guess my point is I don't even want to say names. Just bring in 12 to 15 people and sit down with them. Do 3 rounds of interviews. Like, talk to people and see if one of them aligns with your vision.
Yeah. On the other side, all right, is this the last Christie's Cuts of the midday show, Allen Stiles Show? Well, we got to go out with a bang. And we finally get to the bottom of Last Play Gate. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it. is upon us, that not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho! And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company, Pure Talk.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
600. So.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Doug Christie is safe, according to Scott Perry, along with, and that is via a conversation he had with our guy, Anthony Slater. We have one of the last Christie's cuts to get to, but we want to hear from Doug. Wants to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Doug? What you got for us?
Well, gentlemen, good morning. And one of the points that I always make, I've been coaching for a long time, but only at the high school level. Not to say that that's good, bad, or indifferent, but coaching is coaching, and just depending on the talent that lands at your feet. And I think that Doug Christie has, based on the circumstances that he has been given, and I think with having Monty gone and Scott Perry, who's yet to make a huge move, I think that Doug is doing fine. The problem is that you've got guys that have injuries and and other issues. We don't have the depth to go in and be able to compete against really good teams for a long time. So we get some right now. We're in the Tankathon, and I've been watching the Kings now since I got here in '89. So I've seen some good stuff. But one thing I know about the coaching end of it is either you change your players or you change your players. And what I mean by that is that if you go in and you change your players and coach them up and make them better, that's one aspect. And the other one's if you change your players and you go get new ones. And I think that him given an opportunity to do that, I think that there are good things to come. There's just too much bad stuff going on right now. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Doug. Yeah, and Doug, kind of putting things into perspective when it comes to Doug Christie. Doug kind of defending a Doug there, the Doug honor. We get all that. And I don't necessarily disagree. I just think there are moments where when we talked about Doug Christie on, I believe that was, on Monday, we said there are going to be opportunities for Doug Christie, right? Even though this season is going to stink, next season, we don't know, but we don't know that it'll be that much better. There are going to be opportunities for Doug Christie. And last night was an opportunity. And it was an opportunity for the whole team, but it was an opportunity for Doug Christie. And whether they didn't listen to the play or DeMar blew it up, hey, it's a make or miss league. That's what it is. And it just didn't look good. It did not look good. Real quick, before we get to Christie's cuts, Johnny DeRosa says Allen Stiles looking like Chimezie Metu. Do I look like Chimezie Metu to you, Kyle?
I feel like I'm not allowed to answer that.
You can answer it. Do I look? It's a yes or no question.
I will decline to answer that.
It's a yes or no question.
No, I understand the question.
No. Hold on. Do I look like Chimezie Metu to you?
This is the thing. As someone who looks like me is not really allowed to comment on
Kyle,
that.
Does Carmichael Dave look like Jason Ross?
No.
Do I look like Chimezie Metu?
I can't answer that, Alan. That specific one, too.
Why?
I don't want to talk about it on air as a white person. I don't want to white-splain racism, Alan.
I'm just asking. There's none of that. It's a simple question. Look, people say I look like Childish Gambino. I don't think that they're doing a thing.
Well, yeah, because you actually do.
But sometimes they're doing a thing. Sometimes they're doing the thing that you're talking about. Sometimes some black people can look alike. You're allowed to say that.
Yes, I agree. You actually do look like Childish Gambino.
Now tell me, do I look like Chimezie Metu?
I'm not going to answer that.
I don't understand that.
I'll explain it to you off air.
916-339-1140. Let's get to Doug Christie and possibly our last Christie's Cuts.
We had, first of all, we didn't have a timeout, but we worked today on a play, and the guys chose to run wide. They're out there. I told them, I almost ran on the court telling them everyone knew the play, and they ran wide, which was, not my choice in that moment. But I do know from being on the floor, if you have a feel in those moments. But the particular play was one that Depot would have been going to the corner, would have missed direction, Zach coming back up through an elevator, and then Keon getting a screen on the backside from Dylan. So you'd have had 3 looks at an open look, hopefully. And oddly enough, we went through it today and shoot around, but the opportunity presented itself, and so the execution wasn't what we wanted. Yeah, I mean, and holding them to 100 points defensively, solid enough to win the game, and I have to figure out a way to help them offensively. Ball has to move. We We came out in the third quarter and it wasn't it. We have to make sure that we're finding the ability to move the ball and move bodies. That means the ball has to go from one side of the floor to the other side. Guys have to cut with pace, put pressure on the defense, and just the second half was, part of it is our offense also affects our defense, and that just can't happen. We have to find that rhythm for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and look, but I definitely think that there was some shot selection that we could have done better. But most times the ball got into the guy's hands in areas that we wanted. We didn't make shots, and sometimes that is the key too. It looks great, and I'm a super smart guy all of a sudden that when guys make shots and it's not that, it's they knock them down. In a game like this, you miss 6 free throws. It's just, these are things that can't happen, but there has to be the ability to close games. Debo, one of the best closers in the league, but we have to have the patience to have good shot selection in those moments to make sure. And we talked about it and we worked on it, and you put shooters around them in certain spots, high quad in the corner, big in the dunker, and if they want to help, you pass the ball to the right guy, and they shoot and make shots, hopefully. And tonight, on top of other things, that did not happen late.
That was Doug Christie in possibly the last Christie's Cuts. And yeah, there was a play in place. It did not get run the way that it was supposed to get run. Some might say that's also on the coach, but Doug is also going to defer to the guys. So it's just, honestly, we're arguing the 9th win of a season here, and it would have been nice, nationally televised game, but they didn't get it done. And maybe, it's one of those things where maybe they shouldn't have blown the lead anyway, right? Maybe they shouldn't have blown the lead in the first place.
Yeah, and like he said, players play. That's just part of how it goes. You can drop a play, but if someone sees something different, you want them to do their own thing. And it also just would have felt good, right? I mean, it's funny we're talking about Chimezie Metu, but years later, people still talk about the Chimezie Metu buzzer beater in the corner for a Kings team that won like 28 games.
My guy, Chimezie Metu.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I will say, though, as the kid, I know the kid said this a couple years ago, that it's giving. Doug explaining that play that didn't work, to me, to use the kids' kind of lingo, it's giving Mike Brown on the Jaden Ivey play. Now, funny enough, Mike Brown got canned after that game, and Anthony Slater came out in a article saying, with Scott Perry saying that Doug is safe, but it was giving, I told Foxy to guard the 3, right? We were not supposed to give up a 3. That's what it reminded me of, because again, coaches coach, players play. De'Aaron Fox knew he wasn't supposed to give up a 3 there. I don't know if DeMar DeRozan knew he messed up the play or not. When I listened to DeMar DeRozan's presser, he was talking about getting, the questions weren't as direct, but they were just kind of questions as far as, did you feel like you got good looks? And DeMar could have said, yeah, I bleeped up on the last play or whatever, and he did not. He said, yeah, we got decent looks, whatever the case may be. So when we return, Chimezie Metu's twin will get in.
Gotta be careful. I guess it's fine if you say
you're telling me things, you can say it on the air. When we return, Anthony Slater has a breakdown of the Sacramento Kings rebuild. You really don't want to miss what this timing is going to look like and what the future holds for the Beam Team. Allen Stiles, Chimezie Metu, Sactown Sports.
This is the Drive Guys.
January 12th.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Allen Stiles.
This is the Drive Guys. Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda.
When a person is seriously injured, there's no substitute for the personal legal relationship offered by the local NorCal firm of Ashton and Price. From the first attorney meeting, every important decision is made with a direct consultation with, and I can't believe I have to say this, a real, live, experienced, flesh and blood local attorney. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton and Price, serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries with no fee until we win. For the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
You're home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Nicely done, Kyle. By my twin, Childish Gambino. We need one more album. We need one more.
I don't know. I think...
No, we do.
The last one was fine. The double album.
No. If you cannot speak on whether or not I look like Chimezi Metu, I don't want to hear anything you have to say about another Childish Gambino album.
That's fair. I can't fight. I'm not going to give you the Chimezi Metu answer, so...
But you understand, by not giving it to me, you're giving it to me.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm saying I can't be out here saying...
But that means you're kind of saying it, because you could just say no.
I don't want to look like me and explain racism, Alan.
Hey, man. We love you, Kyle. 3 more shows left. My goal is to make everyone as uncomfortable. So I have a hit list. Kyle, I'm not Jason Ross. I just can't. But I really love making Carmichael Dave very uncomfortable. And I did it today in crosstalk, and I'm going to continue to do it.
Here's the thing. This stuff will work on Dave. Dave would have folded and melted into himself at this point because he has that white guilt.
But why can't I? 916-339-1140. So now we've started this thing, right? We got 3 more shows left. I'm headed to the afternoon show. If you weren't able to listen in yesterday, I'm headed to the afternoon show, joining my guy, Whitey Gleason, who is a huge reason and huge part of why I'm even out here to begin with. He's the one who told me about the midday opening all those years ago. And we're kind of doing a best of, and we've kind of fallen into this best of. One of the best of, I think, segments, Kyle, was all of the other black guys that I do look like. And now that we've hit on this, you have Div on, and these are all names that I've heard before. You have Div on the Sack Chat saying, if it helps, Allen, I think you look closer to 50 Cent than you do Metu. I've gotten 50 Cent. I've gotten Childish Gambino. I've gotten Denzel's son, not Denzel, but Denzel's son. John David Washington.
Former mountain lion.
If you got a beard and some hair on top, I've probably been told that I look like you.
Okay, so here's the other distinction, though, because, like, these are fun, but the actual one is you're literally Childish Gambino. But when you first got here in, what was that, 2023?
You thought Childish Gambino came to Sactown Sports.
I did your first show, and this came up on your first show because someone on the chat had brought it up, and I was like, thank God someone said it, because I saw you for the first time. I was like, whoa, that looks exactly like Donald Glover.
Just say it, Kyle.
Well, I didn't know you at the time.
Who cares?
It's your first show.
Just say it, man.
We're doing the whole...
Just say stuff. Nowadays, you just say stuff.
I'm not going to say it on the air.
Just say, so you went home and you said, man, this brother looked like Donald Glover.
No, it's not even that. I was thinking this for an hour and a half, because within an hour of you doing your first show, people mentioned it on the chat.
There's a guy on YouTube. Now, I don't think they're a live viewer, but they watch all of our videos on YouTube, and they just continue to say Michael Finley is at it again. And they just keep saying, why is Michael Finley on Sactown Sports?
Okay, now I need to look up.
So wherever you are to that YouTuber, thank you for the view. And I don't know if I look like Michael Finley or not.
Michael Finley, the current general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, former player. Let's pull it up here. Okay, I kind of see it. But the thing is, he doesn't have the hair anymore. Like, right. I'm looking at a photo of him from college, and I'm like, okay, I see it a little bit more.
Another one I got, I think that was, who was that, Amid Rock? Somebody else said, no, I'm laughing at not what I was about to say, but somebody else said Jackie Bradley Jr. But again, that fits, it is a profile, right? I fit a profile.
I was going to say, though, like, when I first met you, it was like spot on Donald Glover. But now that you got your $80 haircuts, added a little thickness to the beard.
This is me. You know, I'm going, look, it was $80 and I had the other kid, and now I have to do it myself.
But the thing is, your hairstyle was a little different back when I first met you. So now it's a little different, but...
Yeah, got the swag right. I get the swag right. And Kyle, the NBA young cop saying,
swag right.
Kyle sounds way worse now not answering it. That's what I'm saying, NBA young.
Personally disagree. Mm-hmm. If I was out here explaining racism on the air right now, I would sound a lot worse.
Now people are just texting in. Just say it, Kyle. Everyone just say it.
Not going to say it.
Just say it.
But now it's been 12 minutes. Yeah. Now I feel like it is more sus because you keep harping on it.
Let's not get in trouble here. Yeah, let's get back to the
get in trouble.
No. We got to get back on track. Get back to the meat and potatoes. 916. We're just having some fun.
All right, come on, Senor Segway. What do you got?
No, I got no. Speaking of 916-339-1140. 3 more shows left. So we are having some fun.
I'll give you a 5-star if you can hit it right now.
I'm just you. Look, you're not gonna do stuff. I'm not gonna do stuff. So speaking of rebuilds, we are talking about the rebuild.
Senor Segway strikes
I really
again.
did not.
That's 2-star.
No, it's a 2-star. Anthony Slater had this to say about the Sacramento Kings and the rebuild. One of the common internal criticisms on the ground level the past few seasons, team sources said, has been a lack of player-to-player accountability. Veteran guard Dennis Schroeder, who Perry signed to a 3-year, $45 million contract this summer, voiced as much recently, telling reporters at his locker after 41 point road loss to the Clippers that it happens here and there, but consistently, I wouldn't say. With the national team, when I'm on some bleep, people will call me out. Schroeder said, Dennis, you got to come on. That's what we need. Domantas Sabonis, league sources said, has held a similar desire for more vocal internal leadership, prompting him to push for the organization to sign Russell Westbrook, his former teammate in Oklahoma City. So it's like the opposite of too many cooks in the kitchen, right? It's too many not too many chefs. It's like too many line cooks in the kitchen. And you don't have somebody that's going to take the bull by the horns. Because if Dennis is saying he needs accountability and he comes in, right, he's saying we need that accountability. If you say that, that means you don't really, it doesn't really sound like you're going to be that person. Doesn't sound like Zach LaVine's going to be that person. Doesn't sound like, if Domantas Sabonis is saying bring in Russell Westbrook, doesn't sound like Domantas Sabonis is going to be that person. So not only have they constructed, not Scott Perry, but not only have they constructed one of the worst rosters as far as what they do on the court, but off the court, you have the oldest team, one of the oldest teams, but you were unable to find a true leader in that clubhouse, in that locker room. And that's a problem. And, I don't really care about any of this now because the season is cooked, fried, and just done. So I don't really care about the whole leadership thing. I think a bigger question, Kyle, is who will be the leader or one of the leaders moving forward. I don't. It doesn't really matter to me what the current situation is. Half these dudes are not going to be on the team, and hopefully that's sooner rather than later. No disrespect, but some of them want to go anyway. We'll talk about Zach LaVine and Jake Fisher. But yeah, I don't necessarily have a huge takeaway from this when it comes to who exactly is going to be a leader. And he's saying a lot of the same things, right? Talking about create a sustainable. If you control F, I'm going to control F the article right now. And to be fair, I'm looking at sustainable, so I can't say that. Kyle, I'm going to control F prudent. Do you think it'll be in the article?
Prudent and opportunistic will be there once.
I use the phrase prudent and opportunistic,
okay,
Perry said. When I'm going to continue, which I'm going to continue to be, I'm not someone who's going to do something rash, nothing rushed or panic. So that's what he had to say. The Kings, the whole thing when it comes to, and we have more specifics the same way we did with the Anscape interview. We have information on Russell Westbrook as well, of course, and the idea of moving on from him. Obviously, we talked about Doug Christie. But, the average life, I guess my question here, Kyle, is when you look at these rebuilds and the successful ones, are the Kings on track, right? I guess the track hasn't started yet, and that's the worst part. I think that is the worst part. I know the trades are supposed to happen and things like that, but we're just stuck in purgatory, and I don't even really blame Scott Perry for saying a lot of the same things over and over again because I don't really know what else he's supposed to say until a move gets made. There are no other things to really discuss.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about back in November is no one's trying to make trades right now because all these teams are in the evaluation periods with their own teams. And Sacramento's season just got off to such a brutal start that it was we already know this thing is cooked 15 games into the season. Or I guess what we decided game 11 was when Doug was calling out the players and saying they have no heart and don't deserve to exist. If game 11 and 12 were already cooked and other teams are not going to start considering trades until right about now, game 40, then we've just been having these same cyclical conversations about something that we knew was not going to be any good 5 games into the season, or not 5, let's say 15 games into the season.
Yeah, and that's why we have fun and we'll joke about the sayings that he has. But I guess you can't really joke somebody if he's admitting that they are sayings. And if he says, this is what I say, right? If somebody wasn't as obvious about that, then you can make fun of them. But he's saying, look, I know I'm repeating myself, but this is what we're building this on. And, I'm just trying to hammer it home, I guess, is the way you would break it down. So, a lot of the things that you've already heard, but I do think that they break down some of the other questions about the Russell Westbrooks, about Doug Christie in general. And I don't know. I guess going back to Doug a little bit, I do wonder, and this is what Doug says. He says, to know that he has my back allows me to speak freely, Christie said. Now, those aren't things I'm going to do all the time, but what I'm saying is this is who we are, and this is what we're about. And we are standing on this, and it's not just me saying it. Scott's with me. That's it. Scott's with me. And I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that Scott is with him. I just think that, and honestly, maybe Doug kind of knows, right? Maybe Doug kind of knows, hey, the same way maybe Domantas Sabonis knows. We got to start looking at what's next. Obviously, Domantas Sabonis up for that extension, and that's when I got to control F next, Domantas Sabonis. But when it comes to Doug, maybe Doug knows, hey, I'm kind of in a, not interim, but I'm in a trial period. If I can make some things happen, then, that's exciting, and maybe I get an opportunity. But if not, at the end of the day, I got a chance. And we understand this is not the same as going to coach, even I know it didn't work out, but Steve Nash going to coach the Brooklyn Nets, right? With Kyrie, James Harden, KD, Steve Kerr going to coach the Warriors. We understand all coaching jobs aren't created equal, and Doug is a smart guy. So I'm sure he knows this is what it is. All I can do is make the best of it, right? You want a situation, you ask for an opportunity, and you try to turn those lemons into lemonade. And basically his job now, I wouldn't even be surprised if Doug kind of knows that Scott Perry might be looking, for who is next once they do start that process. So Doug's job, like we say in sports, make it so that they can't take you out the lineup, right? Do enough good things so that Scott Perry feels like he can't move on from you as a coach, right? I think right now the tough thing is Doug doesn't really have that calling card that we talked about. Tuomas is supposed to be this offensive genius. He doesn't have the experience. So he's got the rest of this season, and at the very least next season, to try to form his identity as a coach and his coaching staff, and make it, even without a good record, make it so that Scott Perry says, we got to pick up this option for Doug. Even if it doesn't really matter where we are in this process, we think Doug can continue to push us forward. That's what it comes down to. It's an opportunity that a lot of people would give a lot for. So there's no feeling bad for Doug. I think my point is I don't believe that Doug is not privy to what possibly could happen. At the very least, it's a 3-year deal. So he can't be thinking this is my job forever. He's got to approach it that way and try to convince them, but he knows what it is.
Well, the other part, too, is they are with you until they aren't with you, right? Mm-hmm. They have your back until they don't have your back anymore. That's the nature of employment in this world. They are behind you until they're not behind you anymore, or layoffs have to come, or, management changes and we have to make X, Y, or Z change. Heck, in the NFL right now, I know we haven't talked about this yet, 9 teams are lining up to try and get John Harbaugh, and there's only 6 openings. Yeah. So again, they're with you until they aren't with you anymore. The Dolphins behind the scenes are doing everything they can to replace Mike McDaniel, but if they don't land John Harbaugh, Mike McDaniel's going to have to sit up there and say, I block out the noise, and they've always had my back and everything else. Again, they got your back until they don't anymore. So that's the one caveat that I would make, is just because they got you for now doesn't mean they got you in April, or doesn't mean they got you next January.
Here's another quote. My job, and anybody sitting in this seat's job, is always to work the phones, Perry said. Whether that's trade deadline leading to the draft, summertime, trade deadline just happens to be the closest thing now to being able to make a change with the roster. And this is how Anthony Slater closes it. The first task is clear, though. And here is the quote to end the article. we've got to get younger as a team. That's from Scott Perry. We've got to get younger as a team. Now, it doesn't say when they need to get younger. Doesn't say they got to get younger by the trade deadline.
But we're going to be
prudent and opportunistic.
There you go.
That's right. That's right. So, the main thing here is that Scott Perry everybody knows what it is. And that's probably the best part of this. There were conversations in the previous coaching staff and the previous front office. Were they getting along? Were they not getting along? At the very least, everybody knows what it is. Doug knows I got a 2-year deal with the 3-year option. I have to try to convince them that once this actual rebuild starts, I'm still the guy for the job. Scott Perry knows at some point we have to get younger and we have to start this rebuild, even if he doesn't want to say the word rebuild. I'm doing Control F again, Kyle, because he will say prudent and opportunistic. That brother will not say rebuild, though. I have not seen it. So this is, Slater says it, but I don't think that, Oh, wait, we got something. Here you go, Kyle. Quote, "You can use the term rebuild," Perry said. "I'm not a big labeler. But what I've said from the very beginning, we know it's going to be a heavy lift. You can use the term rebuild. I will not." It's like Voldemort in that organization. I wonder if that's a thing, though. I wonder if that's just a Kings thing or if that's just a term that organizations don't like using.
I think the business operations don't like using the term rebuild because it sounds like a dirty word where you're not actually going to win.
Well, that's the bigger part of it, right? A heavy lift is one thing. You say rebuild, and I'm a Kings fan, rebuild, that sounds like $10 tickets to me.
Uh-huh.
If you say rebuild, and now the sales team is thinking, no. How are we supposed to hit our numbers if you're talking about a rebuild? So I understand why they don't say it. So I don't think it's a Kings thing per se. I think in general, you say rebuild, well, you better be rebuilding them ticket prices. You better be rebuilding them carne asada fries. They're very good. They're on that, they're right next to the media section, 109. Okay? You better be rebuilding those kind of asada fried prices. You better be rebuilding, I know they got with the Asian bowl up there. You better be rebuilding those prices. You better be rebuilding the prices of the jerseys. They were trying to give away De'Aaron Fox jerseys last season. I walked into the store, not the team store, but right next to the team store when you walk into Golden One. I'm going through all the different sizes, just Fox. You better rebuild all the jersey prices. And they don't want to do that. So for now, you can use the term rebuild. That's from Scott Perry. I'm going to say we know it's going to be a heavy lift. So get into that gym this New Year's, right? If you're still clean, I don't know who's still cleaning these days, but if you clean, if you squat, do your RDLs, it's going to be, I did chest for the first time. I did bench press, did it by myself, so it didn't go too crazy. Didn't want to hurt myself, no spot, okay? But it's going to be a heavy lift. You're going to need a spotter, Sacramento Kings. You will need a spotter.
And that spotter is Russell Westbrook.
That spotter? No. Russell Westbrook it's the vets pushing the bench down as you're trying to push it up.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Literally, the bench. They are literally pushing the bench down. Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, everyone else. But as someone who hasn't stepped in a lifting gym since probably the 9th grade, I'm trying to think of what RDL stands for.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're also called deadlifts.
Oh.
Do you know what those are?
Yeah. I mean,
it's where you're like, you bend over and then you just pull it up.
Yeah.
Then you pull it up and pinch, and pull it up and pinch.
Yeah, I think I messed up my back doing deadlifts in the 9th grade.
That checks out.
And I think that was about it for me.
That checks out, respectfully.
Oh, yeah. Thank you? I don't know. Anyways, I'm not a lifter. I got scrawny noodle arms, and I prefer other types of activity. But anyways, sorry, I lost track of where we were talking about Scott Perry.
Look, we're going to get you in the gym, Kyle. We got some muscle milk for you, all right? You remember what you were talking about, 916-339-1140. Let's get to Dwayne and TC. It's time for our Avengers, okay? Dwayne, What you got for us, Dwayne?
Hey, man, I want to know when these guys are going to get embarrassed, man. These guys should have won that game last night, bro. I got a problem. I was up watching the whole thing. I watched it from start to finish, man, and I couldn't believe they trucked that one off. Somebody needs to tell Dennis Schroeder that on this team, he needs to be pass first. You know what I mean? He needs to be an old-school point guard and just distribute on this team, man. That guy really needs his shots.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Malik Monk and Devin Carter. And those last two shots, bro, that step back from Westbrook, bro, nobody on the planet thought that was going in. And that last shot from DeRozan, it looked like they didn't even care, bro. No. It looked like a shot like at the end of the first quarter or like the end of the half, you know, a shot that doesn't even matter. It did not look like a shot to win the game.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dwayne. Great stuff as always. You know, am I the only one that thinks Dennis Schroeder, just as a point guard, plays way too slow? Like, he's not D'Angelo Russell, but every time he gets it, what are you slowing it up for, right? You don't have some intricate offense that you're running. Just feels like he always slows it up, and Dwayne's right. There will be times where he's just looking to do his own thing, right? They brought you in to distribute the basketball, and he's had some good big assist games, don't get me wrong. But, you know, Dwayne's right. I just don't really like his style of play. It's like he's slowing it down. He's trying to do, I think, the more traditional point guard thing, but it doesn't work because they're not really running that much. I don't really get it, man. I don't get it. 916-339-1140. Let's go to TC. What you got for us, TC? What's up, my guy?
So, look, I'm going to be brutally honest, bro. That's why I called in when I called in about the youth movement. We can't have it two ways, right? Both ways, Kings fans. And what I mean by that is we can't say that we want a youth movement, and then we talk about, when I call in talking about lineups like putting Neek at the point, Keegan at the 2, whatever draft pick we got, AJ or Caleb at the 3, trade for JK at the 4, and Max at the 5. People laugh at that, and I'm like, bro, isn't that where we're trying to go, right? Well, whatever the bench asks. So also, I'm going to bounce around a little bit, but give me a minute. Keon and Devin. Devin does everything that Keon does, but only thing that's better is the 3-ball. Other than that, I'm taking Devin. He's a better rebounder, and he's a better scorer. He can score at 3 levels. He can go to the rack. He can maybe hit the mid-range. His 3-ball is a moon ball, but he's Keon, but better, bro, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, thanks for the call, TC. There are definitely similarities, but that 3-ball is a huge deal. A huge deal. I'll give you this one. I think Devin might be a better playmaker than Keon. But, and I do think defensively they're pretty similar, but that 3-ball offensively, it's a huge deal. It is. It's a huge deal. 916-339-1140. Will, our guy Will, wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Will? What you got for us?
What's up, Styles, man? Congratulations on your promotion, and I'm proud of you, man.
Oh, hey, thank you, man.
Here's the thing. Let's be honest. I know we try to be delicate, but I was happy when Doug got the job, okay? But Doug has been a big disappointment. You know, he's talking about the last shot of the game and everything. The defense, the Kings played no defense. That's the problem. Schroeder tried to, he didn't guard Williams in the corner. He tried to cheat and tried to, go inside and try to help on the defense on it. He should have been guarding the guy on the perimeter. The guy hit the 3. We lost the game. And then, we just got too many guys on the mash unit. We just had too many injuries, man. We can't beat nobody. It don't matter who's out there. We don't play defense.
Yeah. And, thanks for the call, Will. And it's so crazy because just, again, the whole idea of not having, Brandon Williams, they said 18% on the year. He's shooting now, after that 3, I think 19.5% from 3. How are you shooting 19.5, okay, 19.5% from 3? You're 6 foot, 26 years old, and you're 6'1", and doing things in this league because you're a dog. That's how. He's 26 years old, okay? So, trying to find his way in the league came into the league 2021, 2022. And the Kings, and he's been crazy this year offensively, right? And the Mavericks aren't good, but the Kings don't even have anything like that. How you have nothing like that? And honestly, he's been fighting with the other point guard that they drafted in the second round, Ryan Nembhard. God's telling me we got to get to the other side. When we do, plenty to continue to get into. Should the Kings go ahead and waive Russell Westbrook? Yeah, I'm going to get in trouble for this by the Westbrook fans, but I told y'all I don't care. 3 more shows left. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the Drive Guys.
January 12th.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Allen Stiles.
This is the Drive Guys.
Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports 1140.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
The Sactown Sports 49ers Report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers lose the season finale on Saturday night at home to Seattle 13-3. With the win, Seattle wins the division. It gets the number 1 seed in the playoffs. As for San Francisco with the result, they fall to the number 6 seed in the playoffs. And because of that, the Niners now will have to travel to Philly for a first-round playoff game. You can catch that game this Sunday beginning at 1 o'clock right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young.
Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. More info at CITBfest.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
More news coming up. In 30 minutes, Domantas Sabonis, we have information from our guy Brett Siegel. And we're going to have Brett on.
Well, not here.
Well, I was going to say, yeah. I'm taking Brett to the afternoon with me.
He's going in the... Yeah,
he's going in. He's part of the divorce.
It's not a divorce.
Part of the divorce, I get Brett. I get Mike Scotto.
You get Senor Segway.
Yeah.
We get Sean Cunningham, though.
Okay.
Here's Sean Cunningham. Who? I don't know.
I can't keep everyone. I get Jake Gaden.
No disrespect to Jake. I'm not hurt by the negotiation there.
Wow. Jake, you hear that? You come to the afternoon show. We'll take care of you, buddy.
I do want to talk Sac State with him, but
Jake is, I'll tell you this much. He's the one that asked that question to Zach LaVine about how come you came back against the Bucks. Obviously, he didn't ask it like that.
Well, you know what? You drive a hard bargain. If you're going to take Jake Gaden, we're taking the round table.
Yeah, no, I figured you'd take the round table.
Yeah, we're keeping the round table for us.
That's fine. 916-339-1140. As we discuss a lot of different reports that are coming out, this one kind of coincides with a call we got from our guy Rick yesterday about why don't we just move on from Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, that whole point was to try to help win games, and they are not winning games. So why exactly are we still in the Russell Westbrook business? No disrespect to him. But if you're trying to get younger, it feels like the Kings are maybe trying to do too many things. We're trying to have a leader. We're trying to have vet presence. We're trying to build a culture. We're trying to get younger. It seems like you're trying to do a lot. It sounds like me, right? I got too much stuff on my plate sometimes. The Kings the Kings are doing too much. You got to prioritize. And clearly getting younger is not a priority right now because you could get rid of Russell Westbrook at any time. So Anthony Slater had this to say: despite the team's record, early reviews about Westbrook's time with the Kings have been positive, and he has been installed as the starting point guard ahead of Dennis Schroeder. Westbrook has an obsessive work ethic, disciplined habits, and a willingness to speak up if he doesn't like the level of competitiveness, punctuality, or professionalism. Westbrook is on a minimum one-year deal, but Perry and Christie, who said he used to defend Westbrook against critical callers when Christie was a sports radio host in Sacramento.
In your chair right now.
In my chair. Probably didn't have it as high as I have it notched up to. Said they believe Westbrook.
I think he's short, Tim.
One more.
I think he's
you get one more. They believe
that one can go with you.
They believe Westbrook has been a positive influence on shifting the attitude and culture. Christie says, I want him here. Well, of course Christie wants him here.
Sure, he defended him on Sports Talk Radio.
Yeah, of course Christie wants him here. That gives you at least a better chance to win. They're still not winning, but Russell Westbrook is giving you a better chance to win. Of course Doug Christie wants him here. But this is about the future of the team. And by the way, they're still losing games. But of course, Doug Christie still wants him here. I think my bigger question is and this is to Scott Perry, what are you trying to accomplish? And the thing is, this isn't a Russell Westbrook thing. It's just a collection of too many guys. I think Dennis Schroeder's in his 30s. I think he's young 30s. I think he's 30, whatever it is. It's not about Russell Westbrook. You can keep Russell Westbrook. I'm just saying waive Russell Westbrook because you didn't give Russell Westbrook $40 million. You didn't give him $15 million a year. You gave that to Dennis Schroeder. If you swap that and Russell Westbrook had a $15 million a year to his name and Dennis Schroeder was on a minimum contract, I'd say move on from Dennis Schroeder. This is not a Russell Westbrook thing. This is about the redundancy that we're talking about. So it's cool to want Russell Westbrook, and if he's the only vet doing any of the vet stuff, then get rid of the other vets. Get rid of DeMar DeRozan. Get rid of Dennis Schroeder. Then move on from them. If he's the only one out of all the AARP players you have on that team, if he's the only one that's establishing culture and doing all these things, then why do you have the other guys?
Well, it's him and Doug McDermott, Allen.
Well, yeah. No, you can keep Doug.
That has to be why Doug McDermott is here. What other reason is he there except for the culture and veteran presence?
So that it's not about Westbrook. I'm saying waive Westbrook because he's the easiest to move on from because it's a minimum contract. Buy out Dennis Schroeder. I don't care. Buy out DeMar DeRozan. I don't care. They got to agree with it, and we talked about this. DeMar DeRozan probably not going to do that because he is still owed that $14 million because it's a $24 million contract, and somebody going to pay me. Might not be the Kings, but somebody is going to pay me. So that is a tough part here when it comes to the Russell Westbrook conversation, and I don't have a problem with Russell Westbrook. I don't. My problem is the redundancy. And he is just the easiest in my mind to move because of the money. But move whoever you want to move. Just move somebody's. Move multiple. So when it goes back to Russell Westbrook, and that's why they're defending it, because everybody knows this looks crazy. Everybody knows this makes no sense. That it makes absolutely no sense. I have this, and Sam Quinn, he is kind of a Kings hater. We understand that, CBS Sports. But the thing is, people can hate on you when you stink. And Sam Quinn says, the Kings might honestly be reinventing tanking. The old way to tank was just to get rid of everyone and go young. But effort means so much now that you genuinely might be better off with a bunch of old ex-stars who just want to take bad shots and do nothing. And this is from Basketball University, who has just been making the Kings look crazy with all the stats they've been putting out. That's a quote tweet from the Kings. The Sacramento Kings have the worst offense in the NBA, but at least they also have the 27th best defense in the NBA and the worst rebound percentage and the 29th best true shooting percentage. No cap space this summer. 29th in average age by minutes played. Complete disaster. That is an outstanding stat. 29th in average age by minutes played. 29.8. So 30. I'm 35. I'm already making plans for my 40th birthday.
You're a man. You're 40.
I'm a man.
You're almost 40.
29.8 years old in this NBA.
Which is the third oldest in the league. Only the Clippers and Warriors are older.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
But hey, at least those teams aren't in the playoffs right now.
Yeah. Let's all stink together and be old together. Here, you need my cane? We just borrow each other's canes and dentures. Let's just do that. 916-339-1140. Keon, popular name on the trade market, but the Kings could end up keeping him and signing an extension. Some good news. It's been a little negative today. Some good news for you when we return. More Allen Stiles coming up.
This is the Drive Guys.
January 12th.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Allen Stiles.
This is the Drive Guys.
Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com. 600. So.
You'll know the phone line. You're right. Your phone will be better connected.
If you guess the team on the text line or YouTube, we'll shout you out.
Yeah, you'll get a shout out and you'll be a familiar name for these Cedric the Entertainer tickets, okay? Even though it is random. But hey, you get lucky. That's how it works. All right. So before we get to that, Keon Ellis, this is from Anthony Slater as well. Keon Ellis is a popular name on the trade market, but the Kings could end up keeping him and signing him to an extension. Ellis is a disruptive defender who has made 41.6% of his career threes and is viewed as obtainable. The Kings have taken plenty of calls on him, team sources said, but they haven't ruled out keeping him around and trying to work out an extension. So we know that they're sitting at that first round price point. And Kyle, I do wonder now, if you're OKC, I know you got Lou Dort, who OKC fans can't stand, and Caruso. But if you're OKC, I know the rich get richer. They can use these first rounders for anything. But is there a world where OKC says, bleep it, why not? What are we going to do with this first rounder? And they just say, here is I think it's mid-20s pick, and we'll take Keon Ellis off your hands. Is there a world where OKC does that?
Right now, it looks like OKC would have picks 8, 19, and 26.
So obviously they would say you can take the Kings would say give us 19. They say we'll give you 26. Maybe the Kings fight. You do 19, the Kings have to do that, especially in this draft with all the talent there is. But, yeah, I just use OKC because they just have an embarrassing amount of treasures, right? An embarrassment of riches when it comes to picks. Some of these other teams, they just seem like the only team that would be willing to give up a first rounder because they have 8,000.
So if push comes to shove and they decide to make the trade, I don't think you give up a first-round pick without the intention of re-signing Keon Ellis to an extension, because that's the risky thing, right? Unless Keon signs an extension with you when you acquire him, there's a chance he's just a rental, and that obviously lowers the price because then he'll hit free agency. And OKC financially probably doesn't sign him to a long-term extension.
Yeah.
But there is a scenario where you do essentially, I guess the easiest way to phrase it is a pick swap, which is OKC has Houston's pick. Let's say that ends up at 24 at the end of the season. The Kings have 2 seconds. They right now have 33 for them and 37 for Charlotte. You say, hey, we'll give you Keon and 37. We'll take 24, and Keon essentially gets used to move up 20 spots in the draft or something like that.
Even if he happens to be a rental.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the other thing is that OKC is so funny, even though they've been losing games, because they're so funny to me. And I've seen Oklahoma City fans say we need a Keon. But I think my biggest thing, and again, we're only saying OKC because they just have a plethora of picks. I just don't know where Keon. I'm looking here, Kyle. They lost to the Hornets. They got smacked by the Hornets, which is crazy. Con Kneppel, 23. Miles Bridges, 17. Brandon Miller, 28. Brandon Miller is doing some things just nobody's paying attention. He was doing well last season until he got injured. LaMelo only had 16, and they, like I said, they smacked him. I'm looking here, Kyle. You're starting Lou Dort. I don't think you're going to – he's only playing 20 minutes. But I don't know if you're starting Keon over Lou Dort.
No, I mean, you would start.
And you know what? Caruso didn't play.
Yeah.
He's dealt with some injury stuff lately, but Caruso didn't play. The rest of the wing forward defenders, Isaiah Joe, 22 minutes. Cason Wallace, 25 minutes. Lou Dort, 20 minutes. A.J. Mitchell, 24 minutes. So
that doesn't even include Aaron Wiggins.
No. Aaron Wiggins started.
Oh, okay.
He played 25 minutes. So, yeah, I'm trying to talk myself into it just because I saw a couple OKC fans say we'd love to take Keon, but OKC's doing that deal. Keon, they don't need him. They need something out there. They don't need much. The defending champs are 30-7, but they don't need Keon.
Okay, well, here's a different scenario, which, again, it's so stupid how many picks OKC has. OKC also has the 39th pick in the draft. So would you say, hey, OKC will take pick 39 and a future second or 2 future seconds, say like 3 second-round picks for Keon or something like that? You know one of them's 39?
Where did Maxime go again?
I think he was 41.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just spitballing here at like possible trade ideas.
If you think it's a heavy draft, all right, let's discuss the idea of keeping Keon. And this is where people get mad at me, but got 3 shows left. I don't give a bleep. I told you this already. This is where people get mad at me. Keon's 25. Okay, Keon is 25 years old. So you're going to go into next season and you're not going to be he turns 26 tomorrow. Remember that for celebrity birthdays. Keon turns 26 tomorrow.
Oh, you could say, how did I get that?
How did I get that? So Keon turns 26 tomorrow. All right. You look at where the Kings are at, and I know they want a first-round pick. That's why I was bringing up OKC. But you look at where the Kings are at, and this thing isn't close. So it really comes down to how high you think Keon's ceiling is. It took us a while for Keon to even get minutes because by the time the Kings are doing anything, let's say, or hoping to do anything 2 years from now, that makes Keon 27. He'd be right there in his prime. Maybe that's the argument, Kyle. We're keeping Keon as a player, but also we're keeping him as an asset. I don't know what that deal would look like. What do you think? A 4-year deal, 3-year, 4-year deal?
I think you're looking at like 3 years, somewhere between 10 to 15 million a year.
So you're getting 3 years of Keon, hopefully getting about at least 25 minutes a night, right? Which is so scary as to if the Kings don't make a move by the trade deadline and we go into the summer and got to continue to have these conversations. But now you have him if you're able to keep him 3 years, he's leaving that deal at 28 years old. You're either extending him or hopefully he's built his value. And then at that point in time, you reassess. You're probably reassessing what you're doing with Keegan too. You basically just throw him on the Keegan timeline and say, hey, we're going to get some young guys. Here's our semi-young core, right? the Keegan timeline, the Keon timeline. There you guys go, and we'll see. We'll assess everything in a couple years.
Yeah, and if you're talking about the dollar value again, I'm thinking he's probably going to get more than Ty Jerome, but less than Nickeil Alexander-Walker, which is basically that 10 to 15 million a year range, somewhere in there.
And don't get it twisted. People are saying, why would Keon re-sign with the Kings? Yeah, I don't know. Why wouldn't, he's at least going to hit. I don't know that he's going to come to an agreement of an extension, because his agent is probably going to say, let's at least see what's out there. And then he can still go back to the Kings. So you're completely right. To everybody who's texting and saying that, there's a real world where Keon is gone anyway, but we're just kind of discussing the different opportunities, whether you trade Keon for some type of young asset, or there got to be somebody on the Thunder that ain't playing.
Yeah. I mean, no matter where Keon goes, I feel like it's beneficial. Unless there's an offer on the table in February that won't be there in June, I feel like it's just good business to just get to June and see what's out there, even if you ultimately end up going back to Sacramento or re-signing with the team that trades for you, because like I said, all of this stuff gets kind of negotiated behind the scenes before free agency ever starts. So you kind of know if you're going to have interest or not. So if I'm Keon, also I would say if I'm advising Keon, because your skill set fits into what so many teams want to do, take whoever's offering the most money.
Yeah.
Like if it's Sacramento, great. If it's someone else, great. This is his one big contract.
Yeah.
Just take the most money.
And to kind of round it all out and close the loop on why people get mad at me, it's because I don't know how high Keon's ceiling is, right? So you're keeping him you sign him, and he's helping the team, don't get me wrong, but whenever it's time for them to truly compete, the timing is just a little bit off. Keon is probably pretty close to who he's going to be in this league, and that can help a lot of teams. That's not really helping the Kings right now. As we can see, they have 8 wins, and half of the games, Keon wasn't getting legitimate playing time.
Well, the other part of that is it becomes a trade piece again, which is the question the Kings have to weigh. Would you rather trade him now, potentially for less than... Because if you're trading for the second-round picks, you're essentially just resetting the clock on trying to develop another Keon Ellis. You'd be selling low to try and take another shot at the board at a G League or a G League tweener who's hopefully going to develop into something like what Keon
Jet Howard.
Yeah, well, Jet Howard was a lottery pick, but same kind of idea. I mean,
is he a Nepo pick?
Maybe.
Right?
I mean, there's a lot of those in the NBA nowadays.
Not that high, though.
I mean, people thought he was going to be the deal. Who, was it Jason Richardson's kid? With the Magic? That felt like a Nepo pick, because I haven't heard much from him in Orlando. They talked about him during the in the Cup game, and I was like, is he really doing that good? And I looked up his numbers. It's not that good.
All right. Well, you really don't want to miss 12 o'clock, because we got brand new information from our guy, Brett Siegel of Clutch Points, when it comes to Domantas Sabonis and this Eastern Conference team. Who is this Eastern Conference team that is very interested in Domantas Sabonis? We give you that information. We reveal it to you on the other side. More Allen Stiles coming up.
This is the drive, baby. Allen Stiles says farewell to the middays. Afternoons, here he comes. Beginning January 12th.
It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and now Allen Stiles. Kings, Niners, NFL. Allen's college baseball stats and Major League Baseball talk. Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on your number one sports station in Sacramento. Sactown Sports 1140.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. We're about to get into this Domantas Sabonis rumor that is going around from our guy, Brett Siegel. But first, we want to go to our guy, Mitch. Mitch, what you got for us?
Hey, Alan, how you doing? Happy New Year to you and your boy.
Thank you. Thank you, Mitch.
Trying to chef for my second grandson. He's 13 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
Never had enough stuff.
Right.
But anyway, thank you. What I got to say is, well, if they get no one pick for Keon, 19, even 26, got to take, so it's not a complete loss. But why is it that we get good players and then we want to put them in the doghouse? If you drafted Devin Carter, 13th, and I can name a couple of players I'd rather have, Steve Silver, and then also with Monk, you went out of your way to sign him, and he's in the doghouse.
Yeah.
They like to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks for the call, as always. Yeah, I don't know. The Devin Carter thing is interesting. We got to get to this Sabonis stuff, but the Devin Carter thing, you know what, Kyle? We need other examples of guys that were drafted. And I know there are a lot that just the new GM came in and just said, yeah, you're just not it. We don't even want to see, because the whole thing is we don't even want to see you. Like, we don't want to find out. We have 8 wins, and we don't want to see you. You know what, though? As I say that out loud, I do wonder, though, to Mitch's point, and Mitch sounded like he was in a grocery store, by the way. There was definitely some beeps getting checked out. But
good dude by all accounts, but he does not fit. Does not fit. All right, got to go.
We'll hear that a couple more times before this is all said and done.
Yeah, call Pharmacy Jeff if you're around.
Please. But, is this a Doug thing, right? Does Scott Perry say, hey, no Devin Carter? Or does Doug say, yeah, I'm not seeing enough from Devin Carter to bring up? So that's a good question. Whose doghouse is he in exactly? 916-329-1140. All right, let's get to this Domantas Sabonis stuff that we've been teasing. And this is from our guy, Brett Siegel. Brett Siegel had this to say, and if you guessed the team was the Toronto Raptors, you get a shout out. I didn't see anybody come through, though. Although it is known that Toronto would like to move below the tax line this season, this team is also continuing to see what big moves could potentially be available to them, including stars like Anthony Davis and Domantas Sabonis at the top of the list. Sabonis is a very interesting name that keeps being connected to Toronto, with league personnel continuing to question any new information about the Raptors and Sabonis. It seems like so many conversations since the new year has branched off to Toronto and Sabonis, which can't be a coincidence. Even so, talk of Sabonis in Sacramento remains quiet, with him continuing to try and work his way back from a partial meniscus tear in his left knee. Perhaps there is more to the constant questions being asked about the Kings and Raptors, especially considering two players Toronto has Sacramento executive Scott Perry drafted when he was with the New York Knicks, Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett. So he kind of, I don't want to say he walks it back, but he says there's stuff being talked about, but no real smoke yet. But I'm still hearing people connected to Domantas Sabonis. But yeah, then he says it remains quiet. Sounds like it's not remaining quiet, right? It's probably just still in the early phases, but it's not remaining quiet, right? Am I reading that right?
It seems like other NBA executives keep talking about it, which means that word has gotten around that maybe, just maybe, Toronto and Sacramento are working on a deal.
I think what he's saying is it would be a lot louder if Domantas Sabonis, as we've talked about, was playing right now and was the 7th player on the MVP ladder like he was the last couple seasons and in line to maybe be third team All-NBA. That's what it sounds like. They want to talk about it, but the brother's not playing. So if he's not playing, what is there to talk about?
Yeah, I guess that's the weird part about these conversations is the people are talking about it, but no one knows, because why would Toronto or Sacramento release that information? Also, You've talked about this before. If it gets to the point where people around the league are talking about it, is a deal actually going to happen?
It's so funny because just from the purple lenses, I believe that they could get Sabonis, but when I hear Anthony Davis, that sounds completely unrealistic to me, when in reality, they're probably both kind of unrealistic. Right. And Kyle, I mean, you got to hop in the trade dungeon here to discuss. You know, I do not want anything to do with Emmanuel Quickley. You know that, right? That's on my list for one of the low-key, as the kids say, low-key worst contracts in the league.
We're going into reruns with the trade dungeon here, which, of course, because how could we not after all this time? But remember, we had the 4 Domantas Sabonis trades earlier based on the reported. I think it was Sam Amick, right, who reported teams that had reached out once upon. It was the Suns, the Wizards, the Raptors, and one other team I can't remember now. But the Raptors one was Jakob Poeltl, who you were saying is a young center, even though he's older than Sabonis.
No, but I remember that.
Yeah,
he's a young guy though.
Yeah, but 5 year, he's under contract for 5 year or 4.5 more years. It would be him, RJ Barrett, not Colin Murray Boyles,
Grady.
He was one of the young guys, but not the good young guys, and then draft picks. That was the other thing. Was you get either Toronto has their own pick this year, which right now is in the early 20s, could be in the teens by the time it's done. Maybe you get a future Toronto pick. Maybe you do just get Grady Dick, and Toronto says, because we talked about this, they're better with Jacoby Walter on the floor than they are with Grady Dick, so they're playing Jacoby Walter.
Last time I checked, Grady Dick was under 20 minutes a game.
Yeah, so, and maybe it is they just throw Grady Dick in there and the Kings send Dario Saric or something like that, but it's essentially the framework of the deal is RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, and the Raptors' first-round pick this year as the main pieces going back.
Yeah, he's played in 37 games, and he's been playing 15.6 minutes a game, shooting it at 32% from three, taking 2.8 threes a game, averaging 6.2 points, 0.6 assists, and 1.9 rebounds. What exactly is it that you do here? That's the thing. Grady Dick, we know the meme with the last name and all that. I have no clue what he actually was supposed to be good at. I really don't. I don't. He's a 13th pick.
Well, guess what?
He's Devin Carter. He's literally Devin Carter.
You want to swap problems? You take Devin, we'll take Grady, see if we can fix him?
They're going, it's funny that, because Grady's actually playing. But yeah, if you were to tell me, Kyle, honestly, and he's 25, RJ Barrett, it's only 2 years, but what are we doing with Domantas Sabonis? RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, and Jakob Poeltl for Domantas Sabonis and Devin Carter. This season is just wearing on me so much. I'm just saying yes to anything. I'm being honest with you.
Just do something.
I'm just saying yes.
Yeah.
And that might not even be a good deal.
And right now, what is the 21st pick in the draft?
Yeah.
Which, again, Toronto could be worse, but probably going to be in the 20s. It's going to be a Nick Clifford type of pick. It's not going to be a lottery pick you're getting from Toronto, most likely.
Yeah.
Also, the other funny thing that, again, this is super in the weeds, it says on the trade machine, Jakob Poeltl cannot be traded because 6 months haven't passed since he was signed to an extension. He is eligible to be traded at 5 o'clock today. So he can't be traded right now.
Right.
But his window opens up at 5 p.m. today.
Wow. Well, hey, time to go then.
Yeah.
Time to go. Yeah, the Grady Dick 6'6" shooting guard. So you're getting, that's the thing that I don't like about this deal, Kyle. You're getting two, you're not getting, RJ Barrett can play the 3, but that keeps Keegan at the 4.
You know how we talk about these 3-and-D guys who, Keon Ellis prototype, all the Thunder guys? Grady Dick has the 3, but not the D, which is funny given his name.
Yes, that nicely done, Kyle. I'm looking here, though. Hey, I'm not touching that one. But I'm looking here, Kyle, and this is how we are just conditioned now, right? I feel like, again, I always joke about my buddies' dating apps and how you got to put your height now. So I'm glad I'm out the game because that's insanity. But I'm looking here, Kyle, and I see 6'6" Grady Dick, 6'6" RJ Barrett. I'm scrolling down to Jonathan Mugbo, who's on a 1.9. He's 24 years old, 6'9". Never seen the brother play.
Second-round pick.
Never seen the brother play, but hey, I like Jonathan Mugbo. He fits it. Jamison Battle sounds like the dude from Coach Carter. Jamison Battle, 6'7", 24 years old, 1.9. I'm sure they're not even, I don't even know if they're playing, but give them to me.
Jamal Sheed, he was the dude who balled out in the preseason.
They don't even have his measurables on Fanspo.
Who, Jamison?
Jamal.
Oh, Jamal? Yeah, no, they don't. Not on basketball, or not on the trade machine either. What are you hiding?
I don't know. That's what I would do. Cut that. So I would make a deal. I think
he's short, Tim. I think he's short.
I need something. I need a 6'8"er. I need a 6'9"er.
Wikipedia says 6'1".
For Sheed?
Yeah,
they hit that.
I think he's short, Tim. I think he's
That's
short.
smart. You hide it. Okay? But RJ Barrett.
Which means he's probably 5'11".
I don't even know that I want RJ Barrett, but you have to do it for the money. I think if I'm doing it, Kyle, it's RJ Barrett, Jakob, and then you say, I just need Colin Murray Boyles. I need it.
You don't want any future draft picks? You just want Murray Boyles?
No, I would do it. I don't know what the Raptors, I don't know that the Raptors are willing to give it up like that as far as the future draft capital.
I guess. I mean, their 21st pick this year is not as strong. And in fairness, Colin Murray Boyles was the 9th pick in last year's draft and is only 20 years old. So certainly more valuable than the draft capital. I guess it's just, I don't know. I guess I feel better about it being draft picks only because then you get more shots at the board. But if Colin Murray Boyles is a starting 4 and you can move Keegan to the 3 and that's your Tari Eason or that's your Kuminga and you can kind of, and again, he's years younger than Kuminga and you can kind of grow that way. I guess I'm in on Colin Murray Boyles. I feel like that's selling low for Sabonis. This is the same conversation as the Kuminga and Moses Moody trade for Sabonis. I feel like you're selling low on your best trade chip.
Yeah, Wax Will said, I think it's pronounced Shed. I think you're right. Will. I kind of remember that from the last time
we've done this.
We've done this whole thing before. It's so funny, though. The Raptors, you thought the Kings were obsessed with shooting guards. Listen to this, though. Grady Dick, shooting guard, 6'6". RJ Barrett, shooting guard, 6'6". Abaji, shooting guard, 6'5". Jacoby Walter, shooting guard, 6'5".
Oh, I wanted him in that Devin Carter draft.
That's way too many. They have so that's who they're going to be trying to offload. They probably got to get rid of. That's what I'm saying. They are going to do this RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, Jakob Poeltl deal. They're going to do that.
But that's why they would want to make the upgrade at the center position. It's why they've been in on Anthony Davis. It's why they tried to be in on Kevin Durant before Kevin Durant was like, absolutely not. I will not go play for you. It's why they're trying to apparently be in on Sabonis. It's why they're obviously trying to get Giannis. It's like they're trying to improve at the big position alongside Quickly or Barnes or Brandon Ingram or whatever it is they're trying to do. They need to get more production at the big man position.
If you're looking at this from Sabonis's perspective, and I guess from the NBA perspective, okay, let's say they do this exact deal. RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, Jakob Poeltl, and the Raptors get Domantas Sabonis. So you're rolling out Domantas Sabonis, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quickly, Ochai Abaji, Colin Murray-Boyles, Jacoby Walter. Why does it feel like I know they're slightly younger, but why does it feel like Sabonis he is just stuck in a world of Kings type of teams? Like, it feels like a team that would have a beam team season, and then that probably would be it. I know it's the East, though. I know it is the East. So they're not winning a championship. How about that? Is that an easier way to say it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how Sabonis fits alongside Brandon Ingram because Brandon Ingram's just new DeRozan. But
yeah,
where I do think they have a better shot is they're really good defensively. Like Jacoby Walter, excellent defender. Jakob Poeltl's been a great rim protector for them.
Well, he'd be gone.
Yeah, he'd be gone. But again, Sabonis is the upgrade on offense they need. Scotty Barnes might win Defensive Player of the Year this year. I mean, he's already won Defensive Player of the Month in the league. So I think maybe that's the silver lining for Sabonis is that on that team, you don't need him to, it's fine if he's a defensive liability at times. You just need him to kind of be big and beefy, but you don't need him to block shots necessarily. Maybe that's the one silver lining. I don't think they're a Sabonis away from winning a championship.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either, but hey, it's a process and, most teams understand the process and, the Kings at that time did and then they didn't. That's pretty much where it's at. By the way, I don't know. I saw this on the chat. I don't know that you would call it breaking news, Kyle, but Shams don't. I see your hand. Don't. No. Shams is coming out saying Trae Young has the Washington Wizards as his top preferred trade destination. I don't know what to do. Sure. Okay.
This is the only team that wants you, my guy.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it's good to be wanted. Isn't that what Zach LaVine said? Yeah. It's good to be wanted. Also,
I like y'all too.
I saw people were doing the tea leaves because C.J. McCollum is out tonight and he hasn't missed a game all year. Mm-hmm. And he's the centerpiece of the trade going back to Atlanta.
Hey, man, get it done. Find a way to get it done. But yeah,
how hilarious would that be if they flip Jordan Poole into Trae Young? That's good GMing by whoever's in charge.
That's true. That's true. So getting back to the Domantas Sabonis deal. Yeah, I mean, you have a couple different opportunities. People saying I'd rather have Abaji. People are saying they'd rather have certain guys than the deal that we cooked up. Oh, we agree. And maybe I am selling Domantas Sabonis short. Maybe I am. I'm the one that thought that you could get a Desmond Bane type package for Domantas Sabonis, and people on this radio station told me that you couldn't. Right? So I'm the one. I've been beat down. I thought you could get more for Sabonis than I got beat down this summer. And then he came into this season and hasn't stayed healthy. So maybe I don't have a clear vision. Maybe this isn't enough for Domantas Sabonis because only the Lord knows what RJ Barrett's value is.
The visions are clear now.
But RJ Barrett also free agent after 2027. So let's say it's going to be LaVine and, it's going to be LaVine and Barrett and Keegan and Colin Murray Boyle. I mean, maybe Colin Murray Boyles. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that is doing you much in terms of RJ Barrett's development, but maybe you get to the summer and say, hey, LaVine, thank you. We're going to buy you out. Go somewhere else. Just give back $10 million or $15 million. We'll buy you out. You can go somewhere else.
You got to agree to that.
He does. But again, that I'm just spitballing here because RJ Barrett, LaVine, DeRozan, Monk, Grady Dick, Keon Ellis.
Literally, it's a shooting guard lineup. It's a full shooting guard lineup.
On a team that won't have Keegan Murray potentially for a while. Yeah.
I mean, I think they're going to be more. We just got to get Domantas Sabonis back on the court. I think the best part about this coming up, and it's not that I want to move on from Domantas Sabonis. By the way, I did Control F in that article, and Scott Perry does not talk about Domantas Sabonis yet again in another article, as it's about. It's going to be a heavy lift. That is telling me all these, I've said it before and I'll continue to say it, all these vets are gone. So with that being said, when you look at the different moves out there and Domantas Sabonis and what he does bring to the table, you do have to find a way to restart this thing. And I just have no clue what his value is. I want to believe that it's more than RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, and Jakob Poeltl, but how this thing is kind of lining up, you have to get him on the court. You got to get him on the court. You got to get him, and I think like I said, the positive thing about this is that he's not even playing right now, and there is a level of interest. If he was playing the way he's been playing the last couple seasons, like I said, 7th on the MVP ladder throughout the season, he might even be gone by the trade deadline, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. When we talked about this deal before, and I think this was the one we were most intrigued by of all the deals that came in, we talked about how this makes way more sense as a summer trade than it does a trade deadline deal, in part because Sabonis is hurt, but also because then he could sign an extension. RJ Barrett's on an expiring deal. Like, in theory, this makes more sense to do. And now that Toronto's not as good, I guess it's less important for Toronto to compete this year, but I guess it makes more sense for Toronto with their group now to try and see how this goes and then reevaluate at the end of the season. Kind of like the Rockets did when they didn't trade Jalen Green at the deadline and then kept him and then traded him for Durant in the summer. Maybe it might be kind of like that for Toronto.
Yeah, I think there are going to be a lot of teams that go through this season and just reassess, and they say, hey, all right, this is where we can improve a little bit, and we think Domantas Sabonis can help us there. There'd be another year off of his contract at that point. It'd be 2 years. They can make a decision. If they like what they see in that first year, they extend him. If they don't, they can trade him again because he'd be an expiring contract at that point. The 2-year mark gives you a lot more optionality, and I think opens up a lot of different opportunities for him. And, what's crazy is we talk about Domantas Sabonis like this, and we don't even really get calls anymore or texts to say, why are we moving our best player? Or why are we moving Domantas Sabonis? And maybe part of that is out of sight, out of mind, and he's not putting up double-doubles every night. But, yeah, I just think everybody is a bit ready to move forward. My hot take is that there is some level of an understanding that this will be the case. I'm just reading the writing on the wall. And, we're going to continue to do our due diligence in that regard as this stuff gets closer. But, I could be completely off, and they could come out and say that they do want to hold on to Domantas Sabonis. The fact that they were out on Trae Young and they know that this doesn't work. And that's the other thing I was going to say, Kyle. Whenever he does come back, and it's so funny because we know we moved on from Mike Brown, and I can't wait to see the dap-ups with Mike Brown and some of the players. That'll be fun. But you have to do the showcasing thing, right? Let us not forget, because I know he hasn't played much, but Domantas Sabonis looked like a lost puppy in that offense. And he wasn't happy about it. We had the reports that said he wasn't happy about his usage. So when he comes back, whenever that is, either the team has already been changed a little bit, but if it has not been changed at all, I think some conversation needs to be had between Scott Perry and Doug Christie where you can only showcase so many guys, don't get me wrong. But whether you're going to keep him or move him, you have to do a better job of putting Domantas Sabonis in a situation to put up the numbers, to look like that hub that he has been. Because what he looked like in the games that he did play this season was a complete disaster class. He didn't know what he was doing. The whole thing was a mess.
Or at the very least, don't waver on your price that you are asking for. Say that you're getting a hub to your offense that makes things flow much better and can be a point center, right? Mm-hmm. That's the price you should say, I will not trade him unless I get that price, right? This reminds me of Bradley Beal when he got moved from the Wizards to the Suns. Bradley Beal had injuries, but they were selling, this is a number 3 who can score 25 points a game. He will be the best number 3 in the league. That is the price. And Phoenix was willing to pay it sight unseen. Toronto maybe is willing to pay it sight unseen. Maybe another team will, but you can't waver on that price. You cannot trade Sabonis just to move the salary like you would for Malik Monk. It's just too important to the trade. I remember people used to say the Lakers should do that with Anthony Davis, and they kept him, and eventually they flipped Anthony Davis for Luka. So you don't waver on your price point of what he was at his best.
But I do think the conversation becomes at what point or what package do you think is still, like if I were to tell you, and a lot of people don't like Jakob Poeltl's contract, but if I were to tell you that was the deal, right? What we just discussed, RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, Jakob Poeltl, does that sound like to you as essentially a version of a salary dump?
Yes, but you're also getting the picks is the big thing. You're getting the 21st pick. You're probably getting a future first from Toronto in that deal to make it worthwhile. Or if you're getting Colin Murray-Boyles, at least you can say, hey, we got the 9th pick in the draft. He'll be our power forward of the future. The other tough thing is you don't know who you're getting in the draft this year, right? If you draft a point guard, then you have use to still fill the power forward position. If you draft A.J. Debonsa, you don't really need Colin Murray-Boyles at that point. So maybe that's another reason to wait until the end of the year.
Well, you didn't think we were going to go through all these rumors today and not have Kuminga watch. And there's actually real Kuminga watch details to get into. We hit our Kuminga quota when we return. More Allen Stiles coming up.
This is the Drive Guys.
January 12th.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Allen Stiles.
This is the Drive Guys.
Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports 1140.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
California's largest sportsman's travel event is back. Outfitters, guides, lodges, and destinations. Your chance to meet the experts who'll make your trip unforgettable. January 15th through 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Details at sportsexpos.com.
The Sactown Sports 49ers Report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers lose the season finale on Saturday night at home to Seattle 13-3. With the win, Seattle wins the division. It gets the number 1 seed in the playoffs. As for San Francisco with the result, they fall to the number 6 seed in the playoffs. And because of that, the Niners now will have to travel to Philly for a first-round playoff game. You can catch that game this Sunday beginning at 1 o'clock right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. More info at CITBFest.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life, and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2026 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. If you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new golf courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your golf clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf, or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
$12:30, taking you up to 2 p.m. And Toronto Raptors have a level of interest in Domantas Sabonis. We've kind of heard about that before, but continuing to hear things about our big man, and he's still ours. Does anybody care that he's still ours? 916-339-1140. Does anybody want to keep Domantas Sabonis at this point in time? Let's just ask that. Kyle?
I mean, I do, yeah.
I am interested in that question, though. Who here wants to keep Domantas Sabonis on the squad, I guess, as they start this heavy lift, as Scott Perry calls it? He says, you, the collective you, can call it a rebuild. They're saying it's going to be a heavy lift. Who wants to keep Domantas Sabonis during this rebuild?
Yeah, I guess my point the whole time has been Sabonis at his best has been as good as an all-NBA player. Best case scenario, you draft the next Luka Doncic at some point in this rebuild. Mm-hmm. You are 4 years away from getting an all-NBA player again on the Sacramento Kings, other than them coming here in free agency, which, hey, good luck with that. So I guess my point is just trading an all-NBA, as De'Aaron Fox has taught us, trading an all-NBA player without getting an all-NBA player in return is a risky proposition because you have no idea when you're going to get that player back. And then I know people would say, but we're going through a rebuild.
Yeah.
This year is proof you can rebuild with Domantas Sabonis. The Jazz rebuilt with Larry Markkinen.
But then what is the point?
The point is that when you are ready to compete, he will hopefully still have good basketball left. Because it's not like he's past his prime at this point. He is still 29 years old. He is in the prime of his career firmly right now.
So if it takes you 3 years, he's 32, 33. Yeah. I don't know that his game is very much, you know what they say about kind of guys getting older. How much is this person's game connected to their athleticism? Respectfully, I think that his game will age decently. He's got to shoot the 3-ball better and not the free throw threes. Actually shoot, but also not the quick trigger threes that were terrible. Just a normal looking three. Can I get a normal looking three?
Yeah, I mean, like, in reality, the Kings should ask for more for Domantas Sabonis than the Desmond Bane package. Now, Orlando paid Desmond Bane like he was a number 2 in terms of what they gave up to get him, so I understand that they probably overpaid, and most people would agree they overpaid for Desmond Bane now, but they should be asking for a Desmond Bane package for
That's
Sabonis.
What I've always said. That's what I said in the summer. I got called crazy.
But if you don't get it, yeah, I mean, I think they can rebuild this with Sabonis, and by the time they're ready to compete, Sabonis will still, fingers crossed, have good basketball left in him. And by the way, if he doesn't, contract expires in 3 years. Like, you can decide then if you want to bring him back or trade him with 1 year left on his deal or something like that, if he doesn't ever look like Sabonis. Because the other point I bring out, like, they were bad before, but they weren't the worst offense in the league when Sabonis was playing this year, too. Like, if you look at the numbers pre-injury and post-injury, they've seen a discernible drop-off without Sabonis in the lineup on offense.
Which is why you cannot stand Maxime right now.
It's not why I will say to the Raptors trade, Jakob Poeltl's playing 25 minutes a night. A little 25 for him, 25 for Maxime. Got a nice little center rotation for the next few years.
That's true. Hey, by the way, just real quick before we get to this Jonathan Kuminga stuff to hit our Kuminga quota, I thought from what I saw, look, it was tough sledding. I was actually surprised. I am not an aficionado on Dallas Mavericks basketball. So the Mavericks stink so bad, they just said, fine, AD, we'll give you what you want, and you can be the 4, and they're going to start Daniel Gafford. I did not expect them to start Daniel Gafford. Apparently that's a thing that they've been doing. So it wasn't, I thought we were going to see Maxime Reynaud versus AD. We saw that at times because AD did have to play center at times. But Kyle, 14 points, 35 minutes, 9 rebounds, AD, Defensive Player of the Year. I liked what I saw from Maxime. It wasn't all against AD. Like I said, he was also playing forward, but I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, he did fine. 6 for 7 from the field. He's hitting that Hartenstein push shot.
He really is.
He's got the push shot down, which is perfect. That's all I need from you. But it's the same thing I keep saying. Defensively, he's struggling, and he's fouling a lot.
He does.
He fouls a lot,
yeah.
dude. That was funny when I saw the box score, too. I was like, why? Because I saw Cardwell was in on the last play. I was like, why was Cardwell in? I was like, oh, Maxime had 6 fouls. Oh, Cardwell had 5 fouls.
Yeah, they're the bash bros. They're hack bros. That's what they are. But, 2 rookies, that's what it's going to be. And they're the hack bros. They're on a crash course through the NBA. Kyle, we have that Jake Fisher sound on Jonathan Kuminga. This is Jake Fisher kind of discussing. There is a constant here with the Kings and Jonathan Kuminga. They're really interested in him, and that's just what it is. Here it is.
He will become trade eligible in 9 days, and I think the market is relatively cool. The one team we know definitively that still has interest is Sacramento. They have been interested in him since the summer. The difficulties there have been that whatever Malik Monk-centered package that the Kings would like to send out. And Sacramento was willing to put a first-round pick on the table to make that sign and trade happen this past summer. But the Warriors have just not had interest in Malik Monk. And I think it's as much because of his contract and the multiple years remaining and the player option than Monk as a player. So could a Jonathan Kuminga trade ultimately come down to whether or not Golden State could find a 3-team deal where they move Malik Monk and stuff elsewhere? Certainly plausible. But at this point in time, with so many question marks on, are the Bulls going to sell? What will the Hawks do with Trae Young? Who's going to actually pony up and pay for Anthony Davis? The Warriors wanting to move Jonathan Kuminga and Jonathan Kuminga wanting a new home. Those are absolutes. That's one of the few things that we know definitively to be true about this trade market.
So that comes on the heels of, again, Brett Siegel saying this. Team sources have said in recent days that they'd be willing to keep Kuminga past the deadline if nothing appealing materializes. That could be a strategic posture, and it's certainly a risk considering Kuminga making $22.5 million a season is currently buried in Steve Kerr's coaching rotation, having played 10 total minutes in the past month. I think that was actually there's a lot of Kuminga stuff. I'm pretty sure that's from Slater. That's from Slater. But then you had Brett Siegel saying there appears to be a mutual understanding between Warriors leadership and Kuminga's side that a trade will be reached over the course of the next 4 weeks, leading up to the trade deadline, despite Kuminga's value clearly decreasing and teams believing they can acquire the 23-year-old at a discounting rate compared to previous years. The Warriors have been discussing several avenues with teams still registering interest in him. So basically, yeah. Anthony Slater was saying they are comfortable keeping him past the trade deadline, which is insane, okay? And Brett Siegel is saying they're also comfortable coming to a decision and just saying we're not playing you anymore. And he's making the $20 million. Basically, this is a more transparent situation as the Malik Monk thing, even though Malik will play from time to time. And I don't know if the league steps in. I don't know what they do. I don't think they care. They just say, okay, well, it's your world, it's your money, and Kuminga is just going to sit, and I guess could even sit past the trade deadline, which is nuts. Now, by the way, Dunk Central deleted that tweet, so we got to double check that. But yeah, either way, he ain't playing.
Oh, man, this is what people were saying at the beginning of the year the Kings should do with all of their veterans, is just sit them down and play the young guys that don't really exist right now. But that you have reputations and things like that. These are veterans, Hall of Famers, guys like that. Warriors are like, we don't care what Jonathan Kuminga thinks. Screw him. We're going to put him on the bench because we don't care. We might actually be better without him, even though they're not. We might actually be better without him. The other thing I take away from this whole last week of the Kuminga watch is Steve Kerr is done with this dude. I mean, he's like he can't say it out loud, but he is pleading to his front office to trade Jonathan Kuminga. He's like, we're not a championship roster. We need to stop acting like we are. That is a direct, like, please trade this guy. I beg you, give me something, anything.
Yeah, it's something else, man. And we're still just stuck on the whole idea of, when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga, all we can kind of do is Malik Monk. And the fact that at this point, I know I was trying to push it, but the fact that we still are not hearing anything about DeMar DeRozan and the Warriors means that I'll probably give up the dream just because it clearly – they're not even telling you no. They're telling you no on Malik Monk. They won't even have the DeMar DeRozan conversation. Yeah. They won't even do that.
Well, you'd have to reroute him to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And who wants DeMar DeRozan right now?
I don't know. I do not know. When we return, speaking of DeMar DeRozan, there is a little, how I should say, Easter egg in this Anthony Slater article that is going to make a lot of people feel vindicated and a lot of people upset. And remember I told you I talked to somebody in Summer League about this DeMar DeRozan thing and how there were maybe some different thoughts as far as adding him to the squad. Well, Anthony Slater sneaks something into this article that gives and sheds some light on how DeMar DeRozan ended up on the Kings and the way he ended up on the Kings. You don't want to miss this. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the drive, baby. Allen Stiles says farewell to the middays. Afternoons, here he comes. Beginning January 12th.
It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and now Allen Stiles. Kings, Niners, NFL. Allen's college baseball stats and Major League Baseball talk. Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on your number one sports station in Sacramento. Sactown Sports 1140.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere. It's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-489-7733. That's 800-489-7733. 800-489-7733.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah. Your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
1 o'clock, we have some. I told you this was a crazy show. One of the fastest shows that I've done in a while here. There's just so much information coming out. And there is a report about Zach LaVine. We've been kind of playing with the idea of, does Zach kind of want to get out of town? He came back against the Bucks, balling out, nationally televised game. Well, there's a report that came out that Zach and his Clutch Sports crew, they tried to get up out of here during the summer. They tried to get to Hot Atlanta. They tried to get some lemon pepper wings. They tried to kick it with Lou Will, but the Kings just really didn't want Trae Young. So we have that for you at 1 o'clock. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. But you also don't want to miss this little Easter egg that I found here, Kyle, in the Anthony Slater article. Now, this is going to make – what's up, Kyle?
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
So this is going to make some people feel vindicated because we knew there was something going on. And this is going to make some people just very annoyed, all right? Now, I don't want the lights to get cut off. We only have a couple more shows before I head to the afternoon. But this is from our guy. This is from our guy, Anthony Slater. This is what he says. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, to be honest with you.
Really? Okay. I'm excited to hear what this is.
League sources, and this goes to, Harrison Barnes now in San Antonio wearing a suit. I know it's not too hot by the Riverwalk. This goes to a lot of the deals that ultimately snowballed after this happened. League sources described Ronadive as extremely motivated to land DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, you got to stop, dude. No.
Nudging his front office at the time.
Oh, God, no.
GM Monty McNair and assistant GM Wes Wilcox to improve the team's offer in time for Ronadive to walk DeRozan out to their courtside seats in front of fans at halftime of a summer league game.
You're kidding.
The Kings ultimately did sweeten their offer to land DeRozan delivering the Spurs a 2032 unprotected first-round pick swap as part of the three-team sign-and-trade construction. That could prove to be a dangerous and ill-advised move considering the current arcs of both franchises involved. And then they gave DeRozan a 3-year, $74 million deal, one that just a year later holds little value across the league. This team's source indicated at the time was the first glaring sign that Ron Adive was grabbing back firmer control of basketball operations from McNair, who had won Executive of the Year after the franchise broke the playoff drought in 2023, just 1 year prior, but had missed on a few fringe moves that had failed to improve on the 48-win Beam team. Then the spiral began. The DeRozan fit wasn't clean. They started 13-18, punctuated by an 0-5 homestand littered with late-game mistakes, including a fatal De'Aaron Fox foul on three-point shooter, up 3 in the final seconds of a loss to the Detroit Pistons. Panic was rising internally. Team sources said at the time, Ron Adive fired Brown, who had signed a 3-year extension just 5 months earlier the next afternoon. That decision was made without consulting Fox, accidentally incriminated and ultimately alienated the franchise guard, who then pushed for a trade. Ron Adive greenlit the firing while on vacation in Cabo. McNair told Brown while Brown was driving to the airport for a road trip.
Oh, you gotta stop. This all started because Vivek wanted DeMar DeRozan. This is all Sasha's fault, by the way. Can I just say that?
Hold on. A month later, in another desperation move,
oh God,
the Kings flipped Fox in a 3-team deal for Zach LaVine, a player Ron Adive had long coveted, despite McNair's apprehension. League sources said, Monty McNair, I will no longer refer to you as Vestman. I will no longer refer to you as Mr. Vestman. I will not disrespect your name, Mr. Monty McNair. So this is all before Anthony Slater. You talk about an Anthony Slater banger. This is before he gets into any of this stuff. Everybody is only NBA Central. They're only talking about the stuff moving forward and Scott Perry and all that. And I get it. That's what we care about. But Kyle, it's all out there now. Like I said, at Summer League, I can't say who I was speaking to, but they basically alluded to the idea that the DeMar DeRozan thing, these are smart basketball minds that you hired. Right? The whole gambit of the front office. And they thought we need to improve, but we don't know. So they were we don't even know what the level of interest from the people actually making basketball decisions was in DeMar DeRozan, right? Maybe they were, but hey, we can get him, but we don't need to, pay him more than anybody else was going to pay him and give up more than anybody else was willing to give up. In order to do that, if we have to do that, let's do it and be prudent and opportunistic. And that was not the case, all because he wanted to walk DeMar DeRozan out at a Summer League game.
Well, no, that was the start, because I remember at the time that was a hugely popular thing was, oh my God, DeMar DeRozan, a king in the dead of night? He did that. And it was hugely popular. And from there, it was decision after decision after decision following it that, as we've kind of lived through on this show, has been just the most insane 13 months that feel like it's been 5 or 6 years of crazy decisions and trying to understand how it's all going. So we thought the firing of Mike Brown was the first intervention of the management, but it appears that maybe DeMar DeRozan was Vivek's first grand intervention.
I think that's what's basically being said here. I think
that is literally what he said.
Yeah. I don't want to speak. We don't know that the front office had no interest in DeMar, but they definitely didn't want to give up all of this for DeMar. That we do know.
Encouraged to increase the offer.
Crazy.
Says.
So it can be done in time to walk him. That walk is infamous now. And it was such a feel-good thing. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
He really wanted to say they nothing like us.
Oh, I forgot about that. Let me see if I can find that.
Oh, you got to find that.
I know I have. At the very least, it's in the montage video I did last year at the end of the year, the one shining moment, but I don't know if I have it as a drop.
I'm sure it's pretty easy to find, man. It's so funny because there was so much to this article. We just focused on obviously where we're at now, and we were during a break, and I saw just something. I think I saw wanted to increase the offer, right? Wanted to increase the offer. So I said, hold on, let me take another look at this here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
I'm sure we have the drop somewhere, but I also found this somewhere in our archives.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
No, they're not.
Like us. You think the Bay gonna let you disrespect?
Kyle, a little spicy there.
I hadn't heard it. I didn't know what he said after.
Wow. They nothing like us.
Nothing like us. Nothing like us.
So,
that DeMar laugh.
Yeah, all of it.
Nothing like us.
No, they're not, because nobody else is doing anything like this. So you're right. He was right. He was right.
Nothing like us.
Hey, man, I didn't write it. Now, I knew some of this. I didn't know I didn't know where the disconnect was. I knew that there were different thoughts on DeMar. I didn't even know that Vivek, I knew there was a disconnect. That's what I was possibly told. But I did not know he was a part of even that conversation.
Yeah, I guess we can also change. We used to be like, hey, we don't know. Sam Amick had reported differences in opinions on the Zach LaVine, De'Aaron Fox trade. He said it definitively. Monty McNair didn't want to do it.
Monty got clean.
Monty didn't want to do it.
But we knew Monty was clean when the Clippers, speaking of clean, when the Clippers.
Aspirations.
Trees. Money trees. It all comes back to K-Dot, to Kendrick Lamar. We knew something was going on when Monty McNair immediately, it was, obviously a smaller role, but when the Clippers, who at that time everybody was high on what they were doing, when Monty McNair immediately got another job. That's how we knew, hey, it sounds like what's happening here is there's like a secret collection of front office NBA personnel that know any person that gets a GM job would not construct a team like this. And they probably smelt it before any of us smelt it. And they knew, yeah, Monty McNair, you don't go from winning exec of the year to making these types of moves. So clearly somebody is getting in his way. And that's why Monty McNair, he got the mulligan. Now I got to wear my vest tomorrow.
Which, by the way, we didn't know it at the time, but like the people in the organization were sending the signals. Luke Laux jumping in the middle of the season. Wes Wilcox jumping in the middle of the season.
I just imagine a boat and everyone just jumping off the boat. I told you I just saw Jurassic Park. At one point there was a boat just jumping off the boat. Everyone's jumping off the boat now.
Yeah, they saw it going down.
Crazy. They nothing like us.
Nothing like us.
All right, Kyle. All right, let's shut it down. I don't want the lights to turn off. All right, when we return, the Avengers, Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, who's the most powerful Avenger? Because that's Zach LaVine, right?
Iron Man?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen the Avengers.
Come on, Kyle. We don't have enough time. We don't have time to do this, man.
I think I've only watched like 3 Marvel movies ever.
Okay. I think you're right, actually, with Iron Man. So we talk about, or Captain America, we talk about the number one Avenger, Zach LaVine, who wants, or I guess apparently on some level wanted out of Sacramento and tried to get out of Sacramento to go to Hotlanta. But the Kings said no, because they don't want I was going to say Ant-Man. That would have been a joke. They don't want Trae Young. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the Drive Guys.
January 12th.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Allen Stiles.
This is the Drive Guys.
Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong, so you can give everything you've got. From plate-loaded strength equipment and functional training areas to treadmills, stair climbers, and free weights. Our equipment is best in class, and our clubs are right around the corner, so you can make this your strongest year yet. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, January 9th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. More info at CITBFest.com.
KHTK-HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
You're home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
We had some fun in the last segment. That was, a little bit eye-opening as far as what the Kings had planned and made their way to getting DeMar DeRozan and how that all kind of laid out and how big of a voice Vivek Ranadive had in that. It's an Anthony Slater article. It's a long one, but there's a lot of really good information in it. But as we had that conversation, now it is time to turn our attention to another Vivenger and somebody else that Vivek really, really wanted on the team, because it seems like this player doesn't really want to be in Sacramento. And this is something that we've talked about. And, to the people that are commenting and texting saying, well, why would he want to be out here? I'm not disagreeing with you, right? I'm not disagreeing with you. You don't want to be here. Find your way out. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Zach was in a situation where he knew that he was viewed as being overpaid and kind of was just happy to be in a situation. But with Clutch, I would imagine Clutch is always going to say, nah, bro, you're good. Nah, bro, you're solid, right? The Clutch is my coach is from Kenyatta College, JUCO, that was telling everybody you're going to get drafted, right? No, you're fine, right? No, telling my buddy, no, you're going top 20 rounds. Somebody else, no, you're going top 10, right? They're just you're always okay when you're with Clutch. So once he got to Sacramento, hey, all we needed was to get out of Chicago. Now that we're in Sacramento, them, they'll do whatever we want. We told them what to do with De'Aaron Fox, and they did exactly what we wanted to do. And we orchestrated all this. We got you out of Chicago, Clutch. We got De'Aaron to San Antonio where he wanted to go, Clutch, and now we're just going to run it back and do it again. But not so fast, my friend, because there's a new sheriff in town, and this sheriff can actually use his badge. As we were talking with Monty McNair, he couldn't even use his dang badge. So this is from Jake Fisher. League sources say that Levine's Clutch Sports representatives tried during the offseason to build some support for a trade construction that would send their client to Atlanta for Trae Young, but the Kings squashed the idea. So Rich Paul gets on the phone. Hey, Scott Perry, how you doing? Oh, okay, yeah, everything good, family good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so listen, Zach LaVine, where we're at right now, you need a point guard. This is probably before they add Dennis Schroeder, obviously before they add Russell Westbrook, when we heard the first go-round that the Kings weren't interested in Trae Young. So listen, you lost De'Aaron Fox. I'm sorry to hear that. Heard he's doing fine in San Antonio.
Why is it Stephen A. Smith voice?
I'm really sorry to hear that De'Aaron Fox won't be at the Kimpton Sawyer. Actually, he will be at the Kimpton Sawyer when he visits. I'm very sorry to hear that.
I think that's in March.
So listen, now that De'Aaron is gone, it sounds like you need a point guard. And the Zach LaVine thing, we all love Zach, right? But Zach is more of a shooting guard type. Very elite at what he does, but he's a shooting guard type. So I came up with this idea here, Mr. Perry, right? And family good, everybody good. Okay, cool. Happy summer, happy off season. You get out a little bit. Yeah, that's all fine and good. That's good. So what I wanted to ask you was, do you think a guy like Trae Young, 10 assists a night, can distribute the rock, distribute the basketball, stretch the floor? He's a better three-point shooter than De'Aaron Fox. He's right there, three-point shooting with Zach LaVine, but he can give you that point guard play. So I was thinking, why don't we just flip that script a little bit, get Zach LaVine to Atlanta, to Hotlanta, hanging out with Lou Will. Maybe we see him on that FanDuel show that Kyle loves. And we can get Trae Young out here to Sacramento. I mean, that sounds like a big three to me. DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, Trae Young. You're getting more shots for Keegan Murray. You still got Malik. That sounds like a great idea. What do you think, Mr. Perry? What do you think, Mr. Scott Perry? What you think about that? And Scott Perry goes, yeah, it's good to see you. It's good to hear from you, Mr. Rich Paul. And I really appreciate what you've been doing. To see your come up and what Clutch Sports is doing, making good money yourself, expanding. I see you doing your thing, a beautiful relationship with Adele. I think they might be engaged now, but I got to double check that one. And I really enjoy watching you on your new podcast and everything you're doing and putting out this content. I really appreciate you, Mr. Rich Paul. But I got to tell you this. We don't want to do that deal. Trae Young and his lack of defense and some of the question marks about him as a teammate, it's just not something we're looking to do. So we're not going to be able to do that deal, but I appreciate you thinking of us. We're going to hold on to your client for now, but you let us know if you think of any other ideas. And that was the end of the conversation, Kyle.
Nice role playing.
Thank you.
I loved it. Everything was great. I don't know if I could get away with doing that impression, but I'm glad it was you.
Chimezie Metu?
No, not Chimezie Metu. Man, I hate that we've discovered this Chimezie Metu thing right at the end of the show, too. God, that would have been such a good joke. The part I'm confused by with the whole thing is, so were the Hawks going for this? Like, the Hawks were like, yes, sign us up for Zach LaVine? Like,
well, I think about it at the time. I mean, they should have known that Porzingis wasn't going to be on the court ever.
But whatever his illnesses are keep popping up.
Yeah, they should have known that. But at this time, they don't need a big because they got Porzingis. So you're adding Zach LaVine, and they probably knew the writing on the wall, which is also funny, Kyle, because at that point, Jalen Johnson, he was untouchable, but he hadn't done this yet.
They hadn't moved him to that point guard de facto primary ball handler role that he's kind of been in now.
Yeah, so that is a good point as well, but...
And also, they didn't know Nickeil Alexander-Walker would be doing a pretty good Zach LaVine impression.
No, what they also... Yeah, they might not have even, based on the timing, they might not have even had him yet. We don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that could have been after, let's go get Nickeil Alexander-Walker, go more defense if the Zach LaVine thing isn't going to happen. So with all that being said, I'm not looking at Zach sideways at all. I mean, this team stinks, right? And Zach LaVine came out here. If you're going to be on a team that stinks, you should be in an area that you want to be in. I know Zach LaVine is a West Coast guy, but maybe he feels like he can be in a different situation. And I just think Clutch in general, they're going to view Atlanta as and before they made when they made the Nickeil Alexander-Walker move, people started taking them really seriously. And Jalen Johnson, I think everybody knew was about to take some type of leap. We just didn't know how big the leap was going to be. But I just think Clutch doesn't want anyone in Sacramento. I just think they're actively, and if I'm not mistaken, isn't Doug Clutch?
Yes. And
it's different because he's a coach.
Yeah, but I don't think that's true. Clutch works for the players. It's not the other way around.
I think they kind of maybe encourage players. I think they use Sacramento as a hub, right? We'll get you to Sacramento so we can then do what we want. And I think this was maybe one of the first times Rich Paul made a call to Sacramento and the answer was no. Because it wasn't no with De'Aaron Fox, let alone was it not no. It was, hey, Mr. De'Aaron and Mr. Rich Paul, what time would you like to be in San Antonio? We'll book your flights for you.
Yeah, it was actually the reverse. It was, remember the meetings they had right before Mike got fired where Rich Paul was coming? It's like, we are just looking for, my client wants to know what direction you're going in. Yeah. And then 3 weeks later, it's like, our direction is we're trading him.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, he only wants to go to San Antonio. Great, we'll send him there.
So seems like in this situation, Scott Perry said, we're not going to be walked on or walked over. And I think Scott Perry made a good decision. Look, we can separate the Domantas Sabonis thing, but Trae Young's value is kind of in the trash. And I would argue that Zach LaVine has more value right now. Now, the Bucks are a complete mess, so they're interested in Zach LaVine, Trae Young. I saw Jalen Green pop up, Kyle, who hasn't even played for the Suns.
No.
I saw the Bucks interested in Jalen Green. So the Bucks, I don't even want to count them as a team that knows what they're doing because they don't know what they're doing as far as who has interest. But we know that when Zach LaVine was on the market and he was balling, doing his thing, teams other than the Kings were interested. We don't have any information on any other team because this is not new with Trae Young. They've been slightly dangling Trae Young. They never shut it down like the Grizzlies and Ja Morant even. They didn't have anybody come out and say, we're not moving Ja Morant with the GM, whoever it was. They didn't have anybody do that. They've been silent on the Trae Young thing, essentially saying, we're listening, right? We're not going to say that we're officially breaking our relationship, but we're listening. And nobody this whole time, Kyle, came out. And I think Scott Perry said, I don't think that people value Trae Young right now. And I kind of think that Zach LaVine we have more information on Zach LaVine having trade value at some point in time within the last year, last season or two than Trae Young. We don't have any information on that. So because of that, I can't make that move. The reason you're making that move is because you think Trae Young improves your team. Trae Young don't play no defense. Trae Young, what does he claim? 6'1", 6'2"? He's not a one-trick pony because he can pass and shoot, but he's not a number one, right? Between Domantas Sabonis and Trae Young, I guess you still would have had DeMar DeRozan, right? Who is going to get you 40 on that team?
Probably Trae Young.
When is the last time he had 40?
Probably more recent than Sabonis.
Probably,
Sabonis,
but
it's only happened once.
That doesn't help.
I think the other part too is like their contracts are literally exactly the same, so you're not getting any contractual value. It's a player option for 40 whatever million at the end of the year. So the only discernible reason to make the trade is basketball reasons, and whenever this timeline was going on, they decided that basketball reasons wise, they didn't want Trae Young over Zach LaVine, which honestly I feel like both sides kind of feel okay with that.
Yeah. The Hawks definitely do, I would say. A 279 says, I'd rather have Trae than Zach at this point. Just a playmaking could get guys open and easy buckets. Yeah, and now you have 14 point guards. So you could find a way to do it, but you're waiving Russell Westbrook, and then you have 2 point guards that are worth what? Trae at about 50, and then you have Dennis Schroeder at 15. That's $65 million. That's almost $70 million in 2 point guards, and neither of those point guards are top 5 point guards. Like, that is, you can't say that out loud.
Yeah, but I guess at the time they thought they were still going to try and compete. And look, they defensively probably would have been terrible anyways, but Trae Young would have cleared out the logjam of guards at the time.
But this is how we know that the Kings are not interested in any they've already doubled down, any triple down, quadruple scenario. Because yes, to the 279's point, if you make that trade, I think we all would have said, oh, okay, cool. So they never get Dennis, I don't think. They probably get Westbrook, and I think that would have been kind of nice, right? You have Westbrook and you have Trae Young. I think Westbrook is obviously coming off the bench there, but you never signed Dennis Schroeder. I think that's kind of nice. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're better and they're probably in the play-in, but this is another indicator that Scott Perry does not give a bleep about trying to make it work with whatever iteration of, I'm not going to single out Sabonis, but just say whatever iteration of this team. He's not interested in making this specific roster better. He went out, got Russ. He said, I'll get Dennis Schroeder. He's only $15 million. That last year of the 3 years isn't guaranteed. And we'll just go from there. Because I don't really, you know what it is? It's when you're it's when you're in Vegas or in Reno and you maybe on a cold streak or whatever, or not even on a cold streak, you're just starting out, right? So you're trying to build your bank, roulette, whatever it is, blackjack. You're trying to build your bank so you're not going in that hard yet, right? Once you've built your bank up a little bit, now you say, okay, let's leave with a good story, and whether that's losing a ton of money or winning a ton of money. But when you first show up, hey, what's the minimum? $15? Okay, cool. That's what Scott Perry was essentially doing. He wasn't going to come in and make a crazy move like that, even if he was looking at it, and this is all just my opinion, he was looking at it from a value perspective versus this team's going to be a little bit better with Trae Young because I don't care. I don't care.
Maybe, but I do think they invested a lot in Zach LaVine. If you sign Trae Young, you probably want to sign Trae Young to an extension at the time. I mean, now I don't know if anyone's going to give Trae Young an extension.
Who wants to do that?
Yeah, what dollar value now is the question, because someone's going to sign Trae Young in 2027. It might be the Kings. Someone's going to sign Trae Young in 2027. So, yeah, I don't know.
Not for that, though.
Not for 40, not for 50.
Yeah.
I mean, Trae Young's market has kind of it's bottomed out to the point where he's going to have to accept that team option at $49 million next year because nobody's giving him the Kyrie deal of 3 years, $40 million or $45 million or whatever it is.
No. So
also, before we go, Trae Young's last 40-point game was January 14th of 2025, but this is a funny stat. Since December 1st, 2023, Trae Young has one 40-point game. Keegan Murray has one 40-point game.
I was going to say where they win.
Where they win, yes, they did win. But he has one 40-point game since December 2023. Keegan has one. Sabonis has 0. Ironically, DeMar DeRozan has 3.
That's crazy.
Also, Malik Monk has 1.
Yeah, Trae, 8,000 assists, but
he ain't gonna shoot.
You could have it be DeRozan, but it's just not. Like I said, Scott Perry, in my opinion, was not interested in making the team a little bit better and thought that Zach LaVine probably was viewed as a better asset than Trae Young.
Which is kind of crazy to say, given everyone was talking about Zach LaVine is untradeable.
Right.
But
we woke up one day and teams stopped needing traditional point guards. Teams stopped needing to pay traditional point guards at that value.
Yeah, because there's no point guards anymore. It's primary ball handlers.
Yeah.
Right? Tatum is your point guard. Jalen Johnson is your point guard. They're making Cooper Flagg a point guard.
And the other part of it, too, is the idea that Trae Young kind of got lost in the sauce as far as who he is, right? He hasn't continued to improve. I'm just looking here, Kyle. When did he turn into that assist merchant? Has he always been an assist?
No, he used to get buckets.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Trae Young had a 56-point game in 2022.
Yeah. So right here, and you got the height of Trae Young 2022, but rookie year, 19 points a game. Year after that, 29 points a game. He was an all-star. After that, 25 points a game. After that, 28 points a game, and he was an all-star and all-NBA. 26 points a game, and now we start dropping a little bit. He was an all-star this season, 2024, 25.7 points per game. And then last season, I'm talking like he's a bum. He's not a bum, but last season, 24 points per game, 11.6 assists per game, and obviously he's not going to be 3.1 rebounds, whatever. And then this season he's barely played, 19 points per game, 8.9 assists per game. So even reading that, this is what happens when your PR goes bad. I did not think that Trae Young averaged 24 points per game. He was an all-star, right? And he was 4th in clutch player of the year. So I don't know. Maybe there's a deeper thing here with what I've talked about as far as the teammate thing that we've seen pop up a little bit. Or like we said, you get to the playoffs and you're getting hunted and we just can't have Trae Young on defense. And again, for all of that 24 points per game and 11.6 assists per game, you got sunned by Davion Mitchell and you were part of the first team in NBA history to allow a 10 seed to get into the playoff. Now, whoever they beat the first time, obviously, is a part of that
you
too.
You want to guess? It's the same teams that are always there.
They're always there.
It's the Bulls.
It was the Bulls. But that's the type of stuff that's a problem. Like, if you're going to be small, you got to be thick. You know what I mean? You can't be small.
It's cutting that.
You can't be small and thin these days. You got to, if you're small, you got to be thick.
Yep, cutting that sound.
That's just part of it. So you can't be somebody that they're going to target on defense over and over again. But even still, Kyle, I think I guess to me, 24 points per game and 11.6 assists per game, that's not worth $45 million? That's not worth $45 million to somebody?
I don't think so. I think he's going to be worth 35.
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs can't get buckets like that, but Jalen Suggs plays defense, and he got 35.
He got 35.
Yeah, Garland, all these point guards are kind of in. What did Kyrie get? Kyrie got 40. I know he's older, but Kyrie got.
I don't even know if Kyrie's in the 40s with that rework.
Yeah, again, I just don't think point guards not point guards. Traditional point guards that can't score at all three levels are getting the 40 to 50 million. You got to be a ball handler who can get buckets at the rim, buckets in the mid-range, and shoot the three ball. And
here's a crazy thing. Garland, that started in 2023. I do think these guys saw a wave of it ain't happening anymore, right? These smaller guards getting these big contracts, I just don't think it's happening anymore. Because I look here, and that's the other thing. Garland's at 39.4, and then 42, and then 44, right? So he's essentially making what Trae Young is making. And guess what? The Cavs are trying to move him.
Yeah.
They're trying to move him. So all these contracts that were signed in this 2022, Kyle, it was almost like the last great reckoning. So Trae Young signed his deal 2022, 2023. Same, and then Garland was the next year. It seems like literally right after that, teams thought, yeah, we can't do this anymore. And it seems like it was just a week ago, because it was just a year ago, 2 years ago, but I think it's all shifted, and all these contracts look bad now.
Well, I don't think it's that we can't do it. It's we can't pay max dollars for the second-tier guys.
But listen to this difference, though. Trae is at 45.9, and then he was at 37, then 40, then 43, then 45.9, then 48.9. I really don't know what you do with this money. What do you do every day? I just don't know. Darius Garland, 34, 36. Darius signed for 197, right? 5 years. And Trae was at 215 for 5 years. To me, it's peanuts. It's peanuts in difference. Both of those contracts are contracts that I do not believe that teams are signing anymore for these types of guys.
For those types of guys, yes. But again, I just pulled up the highest paid point guards. No one's saying Steph Curry's making too much at 53.
Well, no.
No one's saying Cade Cunningham's making too much at 53.
No, but that's a different beast.
Again, no one's saying Tyrese is making too much at 48. No one's saying Luka's making too much. If you've got one of those dudes who can score at all three levels, because Tyrese is similar to Trae, but Tyrese gets buckets at all three levels.
Yeah.
So unless you are one of those dudes that can get your own bucket and distribute, yeah, they're not paying them like they used to.
Yeah, and you know what? As I read off the numbers, maybe it is about winning, right? Because you start looking around, and Cooper Flagg had 6 assists last night. He's been distributing the basketball. We talked about this with rebounding and how the rebounding can go back and forth as far as whether it's a skill or not. Some people think it is. Some people think it isn't. I do think, and I've said this before, all assists are not created equally. And I argued with texters about how can you say he's hunting assists? Well, does it result in wins or not? And I think I can say 24 and 11, and you can say, oh my goodness, how can you not pay somebody like that? But I think the league is saying it's based on how something looks. And if you're not winning, then we don't really care as much about the numbers. Are you contributing to winning basketball? I think there's a huge question when it comes to Trae Young. You got Cooper Flagg can get you 6 assists a night, right? Guys can give you assists. How much does it help your case of winning basketball games? When we return, let's get to our Cedric the Entertainer giveaway. That's coming up 1:30. Don't move. 916-339-1140. I know they're going to go quick. Kyle's going to guess that secret number. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the Drive Guy.
January 12th.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Allen Stiles.
This is the Drive Guy.
Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports 1140.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope. It's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
At InShape, there's a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, walker, runner, sauna seeker, recoverer. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
At Big O Tires, now through January 25th, get $80 to $120 instant savings on 4 select in-stock tires with installation purchase. Disposal fees extra, not good with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tire store for pricing and book an appointment online today.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
Sometimes you need country music.
If I'm the problem.
Next time you have that feeling, check out New Country 105.1 KNCI, where you have 4 opportunities each weekday to win $1,000 and double your paycheck. New Country for Sacramento, 105.1 KNCI.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
$30 more minutes with ya. Fun show today. There's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff that I know the Drive guys are going to get into. Okay, and before we get into anything else, it's time for Senor Segway strikes again. That was a 4.5, a 4.7. Don't call. I see you on the phone line. We didn't give you the lucky number yet.
Your new partner says 2.
Come on, Whitey.
Also, Whitey, we decided that in the amicable separation, Senor Segway is coming with you guys for the afternoon show.
That's right. Here we go. Johnson Family Vacation. Go check it out. I know Kyle's never heard of that movie. Win a pair of tickets to see Cedric the Entertainer at the venue at Thunder Valley on Friday, January 16th. One of the original kings of comedy, Cedric the Entertainer, is kicking off his Love and Laughter tour at the venue at Thunder Valley on Friday, January 16th. We're looking for lucky caller number
4.
Caller number 4. Caller number 4. Caller number 4. Caller number 4 at 916-339-1140 to win a pair of tickets to see the show on Friday, January 16th. That's caller number 4 at 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. So I know Kyle, I always got to be ready to freestyle here because Kyle talks to the winner for basically the whole segment. But I got to follow up on the bachelor party in Guerneville, okay? We basically ran reverse psychology, all right? I ran reverse psychology because they all listen to the segment. So we're going to have a good time. Okay, and thanks to all the comments that we got. We're going to have a good time. We are very excited. Okay, Kyle looks like he's found his winner. And
I said the winner can wait a second if you need me to hear this story.
No. That was it. Okay. I was just following up, right? I leave after the show on, it's kind of looks like kind of an annoying drive, but I leave after the show on Friday and we get on up there, Kyle. My golf game is going to be basuda, absolute trash, but it's about the friends you make along the way. Looks like Kyle found a winner. All right, I'm getting confirmation from Kyle that we will be doing this the rest of the week. But if we get that confirmation, you will have more chances to win those tickets. We know they would go fast. Cedric the Entertainer, one of the original kings of comedy. Well, I'll tell you what's not funny, getting fired. And that's exactly what happened. Whitey, I know Kyle didn't hear that, but come on, that was a 5 right there. Oh, my goodness, that was a 5. John Harbaugh fired by the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, and there's a lot being thrown around as far as why that happened. And, he didn't want to move on from Todd Monken. And the whole situation with Lamar sounds like he may have, that word again, lost the locker room. And now 7 teams have reached out to Harbaugh's agent within 45 minutes of his firing. And I guess the question is, was your team, the team that you're a fan of, who are the teams that did not reach out, right? Or can you guess the teams that did? Obviously, there are a number of openings. I think Kyle said that number even may have went up. But who are the teams that reached out to John Harbaugh and who exactly is willing to move on from who they have? I think I saw Miami made a call, and Miami obviously still currently has a head coach in Mike McDaniel. So you have all of that. I also feel like we didn't talk enough about that game. I know it's a couple days removed now, but I also feel like we didn't really discuss that game. And I know I said, why do we have to watch guys try to run the football for 3 quarters and then they air it out for the 4th quarter, and it's just an amazing game. And I get how the game planning works and how the strategy works, but that 4th quarter was incredible. You just made these guys actually throw the football, and it was a lot of fun. And the Lamar thing, I've been not hard on Lamar Jackson, but I want to see him do well, and I know he doesn't have that many years left at this level. We're already kind of seeing the change here, and I'm very fascinated by who they end up going with, the Ravens, as far as, John Harbaugh, Super Bowl winner. He was there forever, basically a legend out there in Baltimore. Who do they trust to kind of take over? I know Cliff Kingsbury's name has been thrown around, but there's almost a vibe, right? Cliff Kingsbury, does he look like a Ravens guy? Right? There's almost a type of guy to be an AFC North coach has to have a certain vibe about them. It's cold, it's blue collar, right? They got to have a certain vibe. So I can't really see Cliff Kingsbury going to the Ravens. I think it would be a crazy offense. I think they need an ex-receiver. I think they've needed that for a while now. I love Zay Flowers, but if Zay Flowers is your number one. I got to do one more of these. I know Whitey is in the back right now. I got to think of it off the top of my head. Zay Flowers, honestly, Zay Flowers is the Darius Garland of wide receivers. Honestly, the good player, can get some things done for you, but it's not necessarily going to finish the job for you. And we saw that a couple years ago when he fumbled on the 1-yard line. And that has nothing to do with him not being an ex-receiver, but you just need more. Lamar needs more options. The whole Hollywood Brown thing didn't work out. And Hollywood Brown, by the way, he left Lamar and kind of had some shade to throw, right? I get a real quarterback now. Hollywood Brown, we don't even see you, right? We see you when somebody gets hurt on the Chiefs. And the Chiefs don't have a great wide receiver core. They didn't have Rashee Rice, so you saw more of Hollywood Brown, but you got Juju Smith-Schuster. So you're not even the pure number one or number two on that team. So Lamar hasn't really had a ton of talent in the wide receiver realm. I know he's a different type of quarterback, but here's the thing. If the whole conversation now is that Lamar is this amazing pocket passer, then you should go get him a classic wide receiver. I think that makes sense. Back in the day when he was doing more running and things like that, then sure. I don't think A.J. Brown fits somebody like that or these more traditional receivers. Or even Jamar. I think anybody – look, Jamar Chase and Lamar would be incredible, but my point is some of these more traditional receivers, Lamar wasn't throwing as much early on. So now if you're going to enter into this, Lamar's a pocket passer who now runs a little bit. If he's now Trevor Lawrence or whatever the case may be, you got to go out and make sure his wide receiver core reflects that. And right now, I mean, the fact that DeAndre Hopkins was going to be getting targets in a playoff game in 2026 is crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if they keep Isaiah Likely. I don't think that and this goes back to the OC thing. I know the offensive numbers weren't crazy, but I don't know. They probably should keep Isaiah Likely. I don't know that they've utilized both these guys. I think Isaiah Likely, there is a world where Isaiah Likely is better than Mark Andrews, right? And I'm not talking blocking. I'm just talking about, finding the soft spots and catching the football. How about that? But, they've already given Mark Andrews, a 3-year extension. So they're moving on from John Harbaugh. I understand why they're doing that, but now you got to make your next move your best move. That's how it ultimately goes down. I'm seeing some texts come in as we were having a Trae Young conversation. Look, I am not making the argument that the Kings should not have gone and got Trae Young. Now, the report is, if you're just now tuning in, getting ready for the drive, guys, I'm not making the argument they shouldn't have made a move for Trae Young. I'm just explaining why I think they didn't make a move for Trae Young. But nobody's going to argue that that Zach LaVine is anywhere near the type of playmaker that Trae Young is. Nobody's going to argue that. Clearly, Scott Perry didn't care enough about that because he didn't think it was going to move the needle that much. That's what I'm taking away from it. It doesn't really matter what I think or, what Scott Perry is the one making the decisions. And according to Scott Perry, he did not feel like Trae Young fit whatever timeline he was trying to create. And I do think it's interesting because Trae Young is not on some 5-year deal. It is only 2 years. But you bring in somebody, you do a little bit better. Now, let's say they sneak into the 8th seed, right? Maybe via the play-in. Now, all of a sudden, Trae Young, you got to give him an extension. Maybe Scott Perry saying, I don't really want to give him an extension. So you just avoid all of that. You avoid all of it, right? So, Kyle, congrats to our winner. What's our winner's name?
Okay, so behind the scenes, we had 2 winners today. It was Pool Guy Mark and 916 Silva. Both loyal listeners.
There you go. Well, shout out to them. I hope they enjoy Cedric the Entertainer. But, yeah, the argument isn't that nobody's trying to argue that Zach LaVine is the same type of playmaker as Trae Young. I'm just arguing clearly Scott Perry didn't care. That's what I'm arguing.
Yeah, I mean, is it making a discernible difference? I'm not sure that it was. So, because the contracts are literally exactly the same. Like, they're basically the exact same contract for Trae Young and Zach LaVine. So if you're not getting a discernible difference in play, then you're not getting any advantage contractually by trading one or the other, which, by the way, is probably why Clutch was angling that specific trade if they were trying to get Zach LaVine to Atlanta.
I forgot how, but you missed one of the best Senor segues ever. And I said, somebody doesn't want to get fired. And I said, speaking of fired, Senor segue strikes again.
You. I mean, it's belated Senor segue.
John Harbaugh, we were talking about him moving on. Kyle, I also said this. Zay Flowers is the Darius Garland of the NFL.
That's
funny
but true.
Thank you.
Like, yes, Zay Flowers is the always top 15, but never top 10.
Right.
Yeah, that's of wide receivers. He is
you're probably a Super Bowl contender if he's your number 2, but if he's your number 1,
no.
Your future rests with Mr. Loop, and you're at home and you're fired now.
You know what's funny? I used to say that about Terry McLaurin, and then he had that great year last year and then went back to being Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
But for years is the same thing.
209 says, Allen, Fernando Mendoza, or Lamar Jackson to the Raiders.
The Raiders had their chance. Remember when Lamar said he had requested a trade and they were like, actually, we don't want Lamar Jackson?
It's not that I don't want Lamar. It's that I just don't think Brady would want Lamar. So would I take Lamar? Of course. I'm not going to take Fernando Mendoza over Lamar Jackson. I just don't think that would happen. So give me Fernando. The bigger question that we're going to talk about is Fernando or Dante Moore. We have another one, Kyle. Does this one work? Lamar is the LeBron of RG3s. This is from the 209. Lamar is the LeBron of RG3s.
I guess.
Who would be the LeBron? He has to be, right? Because it would be Vic. And he's crushed a lot of the Vic.
So is Vic the Jordan of RG3s?
I think you might be right.
But that's dumb because RG3 is
Why is it? Because it's RG3. Because he's still around and come on, it's RG3.
Yeah, I don't know why RG3 has just kind of become
I like that 209. Let's keep workshopping it. But, Zay Flowers, the Darius Garland of the NFL.
Or of wide receivers.
Of wide receivers. That's who he is. All right. We have a very, very special guest joining us. And we told you that more would be revealed throughout the week. We are revealing something very important as it pertains to the midday show when we return. Allen Stiles, we'll be right back.
This is the Drive, baby. Allen Stiles says farewell to the middays. Afternoons, here he comes. Beginning January 12th.
It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and now Allen Stiles. Kings, Niners, NFL. Allen's college baseball stats and Major League Baseball talk. Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on your number one sports station in Sacramento. Sactown Sports 1140.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Plati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong, so you can give everything you've got. From plate-loaded strength equipment and functional training areas to treadmills, stair climbers, and free weights. Our equipment is best in class, and our clubs are right around the corner, so you can make this your strongest year yet. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, January 9th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
It's Wonderful Wednesdays at Roosters. Starting at 5 p.m., all you can eat enchiladas for $21.99. 12 incredible styles. How many can you handle? Come set the record. The meal's on them. Wonderful Wednesdays, only at Roosters on the River.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr. Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
The winter service event is on at Maida Subaru. Now is the time to let Maida Subaru get your Subaru road ready for the winter weather with exceptional savings on tires, brakes, wiper blades, and more. See all the service specials at MaidaSubaru.com.
Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Live and local
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
15 minutes to go here on the Allen Stiles Show, the midday show. And speaking of the midday show, we told you had to keep listening in all week long and watching all week long as we reveal more about the midday show. We're still not done, but we are revealing a very, very important piece today as I make my way to the afternoon show, to the Drive Guys with my guy, Whitey Gleason. What we are revealing today is that somebody that has come in and taken Sacramento by storm with all of her great wittiness and information and just bright personality, Kayla Anderson will be a part of the midday show, going from, kind of a fill-in spot starter, you may say, in the summer. I remember I was on paternity leave and I turned on I didn't even know who you were, Kayla. I just checked in and I saw you and who the heck is this? I text Chris Watkins. Then I listened and I heard what you were saying and I thought, man, she knows what she's talking about. So we're very excited for you to be a part of the team in general. And specifically, we know that I am handing off part of the midday show to you, and I couldn't be more excited for you. You worked your tail off from the moment that you stepped into this building, and we're really happy for you. Congrats, and thank you for joining us.
Alan, thank you so much. And first of all, congrats to you. I'm excited to hear the new show. I know we haven't known each other for a long time, but I get a kick out of going back and forth with you. Mm-hmm. There are so many awesome people at this station, and I don't say that lightly. I've worked in this business for 25 plus years in TV and radio, and this is really a unique group and a genuine group of people. So first and foremost, I'm so thrilled to be working with all of you guys, and pumped to be, getting part of the baton in this midday show. I know the rest is to be revealed the rest of the week, so stay tuned. But it's going to be awesome. It's always a challenge, right? When you get to a new market. But I just want to say this to the listeners is when I get to a market, and I've been in different places in my career, I completely give myself to that place and I dive in, head first, and I make sure that I'm doing my research and I'm there at the games. And so now that this is official, I'm really excited to actually, be able to experience Sacramento sports to the fullest and then bring you, what I take from it. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun too. We're going to have a lot of fun. You can see my weird personality sometimes. I like the word witty that you use. I can tend to be a little witty too. So I'm pumped. I'm really excited, you guys.
Well, even though you did have some things to say about me when I hopped in the car that one time, he said, I don't agree with Alan very often. I still found a way to say all these nice things about you, Kayla, because they really are true and we appreciate it. But, I will say during the summer, things can get a little quirky, right? With everybody. Yeah. I mean, Carmichael Dave, I don't know how much vacation the guy gets, but with everything that goes on and people being in and out, why don't you just give a kind of lay of the land on where you're from? Tell people, I know you're going to do it once the show starts, but where you're from, how you kind of got into this biz, and you've always been a bit connected to the West Coast, so this is all very familiar to you.
It is. It's so great to be back on the West Coast, by the way. I've kind of spent my career, this analogy, I've addressed it before, is my career has kind of been like minor league baseball. Mm-hmm. Like we aren't all just given our dream jobs in this business. A lot of us aren't. We have to work our way up and we get kicked back down sometimes. But it's all about, if you really have a passion for sports and sharing, with the audience and being able to converse with the audience, that's what it's all about. Yeah. So, for me, that's been a stepping stone. I've been in 8 different cities covering sports of all kinds. I've covered it all, but I came from Nashville, Tennessee recently, where I was doing sports talk radio the last 3 years. And then before that, I was with a local station, the local ABC station there, doing sports for 6 years. And then we'll do the bio. You can go look me up, but it goes all the way back to graduating from Washington State. But I'm excited. I love the West Coast. And okay, yes, I'm a Seahawks fan. Don't hate me though, because I have a different appreciation for the NFL. Because when you cover the NFL, it gives you just a different thought process on how teams maneuver. And the Niners are kind of up there as one of the example organizations from top to bottom. Something that I think we always said the Titans need to try to take a cue from, but still haven't. So.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you. Obviously, yes, you can find Kayla, of course, on social media, on X, on Twitter, all of that. We're really excited to have you join Kayla. And you will be doing crosstalk, right? Because, I don't know. I want a full party. Now, again,
for sure,
this whole thing, everything, if people are wondering, okay, is this it? This is not it. We're doing this rollout. We're keeping this mystique. All will be revealed tomorrow. Okay, so you got to keep tuning in and be sure to follow us on our digital platforms, on Instagram, on X, on Twitter. That's where everything will be revealed. Let me put it to you like this. The Midday Show will not be a solo show. I can say it like that. The Midday Show will not be a solo show. So it's kind of like when you go to, I don't know about you, Kale, but back in my heyday, I used to like a music festival here and there. And it's like when you have the silhouettes of people or the blurred out names. And as you get closer to the music festival, they unblur the names, right? So all the names have not been unblurred yet. We've unblurred you today. We've kind of unblurred another one that everyone's very familiar with. But tomorrow, all names will be unblurred. All silhouettes will be filled in. You will find out what the Sactown Sports, not music festival, but sports festival will be on the Midday Show. So those of you that are wondering, hey, Allen, is it a different situation of, solo, whatever? Not going to be a solo, but we will give you all that information tomorrow. So we're really excited to have you on, Kayla. And just very happy for everything that you've been able to grow and accomplish in the time that you've been here. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Allen, the only reason I pick on you, when I pick on you, that means I like you and I respect you.
Okay,
so
fair
take
enough.
that for what it's worth.
Yeah, I can do that.
It's not, it's not going to end.
No. It better not end, right? Look, I come from a time of spicy crosstalks. Okay, I come from a time of I didn't like what you said. I heard what you said, and I'm gonna call it out. There's Carmichael. I'm gonna miss the Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross crosstalks, but we're talking about making sushi. We're talking about Dave knitting a sweater. And I love it. I really do. But we're gonna get real spicy here some of these days and get everybody ready for what is to come, whether it be on your show or what you just talked about, what Whitey and I are about to talk about. So that is great stuff. Kayla, thank you so much for joining us. We will surely be doing it again. And I will see you next week, maybe sooner than that.
Yeah. Can't wait, guys. Thanks again. Thanks, Allen. Thanks, Kyle. And we'll see you soon, and we'll see you listeners soon.
Great stuff from Kayla Anderson, a part of the Midday Show, the new Midday Show. So good on Kayla for getting that done, and we appreciate her. It's always really exciting a time like this. And look, I don't take it lightly. There are a lot of different situations that have happened in this industry, and we don't take any of it for granted. We don't take it lightly. All we can do is work our what's off and try to keep this thing moving in the best direction it can, and we can't do that with great people like you. So that's great stuff. Whitey Gleason is coming up. My future partner is coming up with Jay Johnson, and oh my goodness, is 4 hours going to be enough? You have so much going on here with Zach LaVine. You got Last Play Gate. You got all of it, so you don't want to move. Drive Guys coming up next. They're my ratings now, too. Even on this, they're now, right?
I don't think the book has started
yet.
It's
not the book yet, but tune in anyway. Drive Guys coming up next. They got you for 4 hours. Thank you all the callers, texters, Sack Chatters. Thank you to Kyle Ledbetter. Great job, as always. Until tomorrow, and it's a big one tomorrow. Secure the bag like the beam. Like, if you're going to be small, you got to be thick.
Nothing like us.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
This is the Drive Guys. January 12th. The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Allen Stiles. This is the Drive Guys. Weekday afternoons 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.